Whoever wants to take the intro, Jonathan.
Hello and welcome to the show. This is the Cult of Conspiracy, and my name is Jonathan.
I'm Jacob.
And today we got a first timer on the cult. It's going to be a fun one. It's going to get wild. Welcome to the show, Derek Stitt from Talking Stitt podcast.
Thank you guys, man. It's fun to do the whole fucking SWAPCAST thing, Get both sides of listeners, some new faces, some new names, and some new subjects to look into. And I really appreciate you guys' time, man. So yeah, thanks again for doing this.
Well, otherwise known as the sloppy swappy. You know what I mean?
I'm all about that.
That sounds way too. I mean, I understand that it's supposed to sound like an innuendo, but like the sloppy swappy sounds like it could mean so many things depending on all sorts of. Yeah, that's a good one. I like that.
Into,
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like it could be a chili dog too, something John Mellencamp's into,
The chili dog also sounds like it's a massive innuendo for other things too. There's so many jokes in so little time,
And who's endo? That's the real question.
There you go.
Yeah.
So
Derek,
how long you been podcasting, dude?
About 2 years now, about 2 years and a month or two. And
Hell yeah.
basically had been listening to like guys like you guys, Triple E, Jimmy Dore and other people. Like, I mean, that's more like a little more news based, I guess. But I've always been like the kid in school that was the big talker that always got in trouble for talking too much. And it's like, well, you got a million things in your head. Fuck it. Just hit record on a laptop and then people start listening. So shit, why quit?
Hell
Well,
yeah.
and it gets you interested in what's really going on in the world, gives you like a more broader view of the world, I find too, because otherwise, most people probably wouldn't be looking into a lot of like CIA projects back in the 70s or 80s or anything as
Or
far
currently.
or currently, right?
Right.
And most people aren't really too concerned about the world politics other than what's on the TV, with Israel and Ukraine and that whole thing. Like that's for the most part people know about that much. But that's what we started. Whenever we started, it was like, man, there's so much other stuff that's going on behind the scenes that it's almost like that is the false flag, for all of the other things that are actually going on. I mean, not to say that those things aren't going on, but there's like way more shit going on than
That's the
just,
shallow end of the pool. Yeah.
Yeah.
right. Yeah, dude. So it's a lot of fun. And, you get to meet like a bunch of new people and kind of tickle their pickle a little bit and look at things from different points of view. And it's a good time.
You get to learn. Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. So, what kind of content do you usually cover on your podcast? Is it more news-based, conspiracy-based, esoteric? What's your jam?
It really depends on the guest. Like, I'm a musician and I've always been a musician since I was like, I don't know, like 11 years old and wanted to be a musician from like 5, 6 years old, whatever kind of thing. So
Why do I get
I was,
metalhead vibes from you?
well, I'm metalhead. I'm classic rock guy. I'm,
Yeah.
just a little bit of anything. I've played from fucking Sade songs to Slipknot songs, and anything in between. But my
Hell yeah.
point is like you get around people and you have to learn the whole like people skills and talking with, bumping elbows. And it's kind of the same idea as the podcast realm where the more people you start meeting, you start making friends along the way. You start making like, it makes you learn as well because you get more open-minded to subjects you might not know about, or same as like musical styles you never played before. So that's just kind of really what got me into it was the whole world was getting questioning of everything. And I just question it all. Depends on the guest, I guess, to answer the actual real question is bring somebody on, we can go into a deep dive, or we can just crack some beers, get stoned, and just talk shit on current events or anything in between.
Heard
Hell
that.
yeah. It is a conspiracy podcast. If you're not getting high or getting drunk or sometimes, the information is just enough to get you as high or as low as you need to,
Right.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to blur it out a little bit.
Right.
Yeah,
I treat my show like a couple dudes just hanging out in the garage, talking shit, drinking beer, listening to music kind of thing. Like that vibe.
Yeah, my family members cannot like grasp that that's my job now. My brother, who he's still punching a clock and he's doing pipe fitting and welding and crane operating, all these things. My dad also works in industry, and they'll tell me about their conversations later on. Like, me and Dad were talking the other day, bro. I can't believe that you, of all people, are making the money that you're doing and supporting yourself and paying your bills by talking shit. That's the wildest shit I ever heard in my life. And I'm like, bro, I don't know what to tell you except the internet be interneting. That's about it, honestly.
It do be. Yeah, it's a good time though. And and it's funny because you'll see the tides change in people. A lot of the blue pillars out there that are, they looked at you like you were crazy for the first maybe the first year or so that you're doing it, and then they're like, oh wait, I guess he's not that crazy. I mean, a little crazy, yeah, sure, but not that crazy as far as the stuff that we talk about, because we get into a lot of occult stuff. You start looking into symbolism and stuff, and people look at you like you are absolutely nuts because you're starting to understand what certain symbols mean and starting to understand how certain occult networks and all that stuff kind of work and all the secret societies, and then like whenever you find out like what their main narrative is and what their main goals are, it's like it's just being carried out every day. It's not even that hard to see. So it's fun. It's definitely a deep rabbit hole. You just got to remember to come back up sometimes for some air,
For sure.
Big facts.
We're all family guys, and and it's like you have to be grounded in reality at some, you got to have some foundation of like, yeah, we can keep digging in the rabbit holes, but like make sure you got enough rope to climb back up kind of thing to reality when it's, oh, you're home from work and you're not listening to podcasts while you're at work with your headphones or something. And now it's, you're changing your toddler's diaper. You can't be worried about fucking flat earth or Nephilim or something like that at the moment. It's like, you just got to do what you got to do. So the reality thing is like, people they can get too far into conspiracies, and I love getting deep into all conspiracies. But like you just said, Jonathan, like you've got to make sure like you know where the conspiracy ends and the real life kind of begins as well.
Absolutely.
For sure. I mean, no matter what happens, you look out the window and the birds are still chirping, the sun's still rising, and the grass is still growing. No matter if Bill Clinton is doing coke out of Jeffrey Epstein's asshole, it's still going to be looking nice outside, regardless, right?
Yeah, dude. Speaking of Epstein, you guys see Andrew got stripped by King Charles. I love how they said that. He got stripped by King Charles today. I'm like, ooh, nasty over in the royal family. But yeah, he lost his duties and had to get the fuck out of the house and everything now. And you're like, oh,
that's
lost
interesting.
all of his honorifics.
I thought it was a Democratic hoax, though.
I know.
I don't know how somebody like that gets pulled from their duty.
Yeah. Yeah, the same dude that's like, how I know that I'm not lying about it is actually because I don't sweat, which is totally a thing to where this woman who, what's her name? Whatever. She's lying. Then you see pictures of him. Yeah. That was a part of it.
I know. Yeah, sorry.
His shirt was like drenched in sweat. And it's like, bro, that's a weird lie to try to like hedge your bets on anyway. Like there's so many things you could have come up with an alibi that nobody could have fact checked you on. Well, I can't sweat, so she's a liar. It's like, big dog. What are you doing?
It's like I'm not into scat porn because everybody knows I don't shit. Right.
Exactly.
So
what are you, Kim Jong Un? No, but the funny thing about like the Andrew deal is, if I remember correctly, in that same interview, he was saying, I don't sweat. I mean, I didn't then, but I do now, and it just kind of made it even worse. Where you're like, did you really? What? No wonder the family's kicking you out. Like they already knew your shit you were doing, but you're just like, all right, we got to hit that abort button right now because you're making us all look bad.
Dude, and but that's how far removed the royal class is from reality, though. And it's not even just the royal class. I mean, we have a whole royal class in the United States, too. Don't let it just be called kings and queens, right? I mean, all the fucking politicians that are in there for 20, 30 years, they may as well be royalty.
Oh,
right?
For sure.
There's no difference.
But like the British royal family is not new to scandal and controversy by any stretch of the imagination. I'm not even talking about medieval times and beheading of your old lady and shit like that. And I'm not even talking about Princess Di. Even the princes were known to go to a very high-end whorehouse, not too far from the House of Commons. It's a well-known spot. It's like a gentleman's club for the wealthy elite. It's a fucking brothel. It's a whorehouse of black ties. Like it's understood. And these are the men who are standing there with their princess wives and giving the whole bow and wave gestures and all. It's like, no, they're just dudes. They be doing the foul ass shit just like everybody else. But then when it came to the whole Epstein thing, it's like, y'all realize that this was so egregious that even the people that are known for their controversies were finally like, okay, fucker, you're done. You're out of the family, stripping you of your honorifics. You're not getting any land or title. You're now one of the common folk. It's like, Yeah, that had to have been really, really egregious. And again, Jonathan, like you said, it's all a Democratic hoax. Are we still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? Like, yeah, it's
Schroding.
crazy.
It's Schrodinger's fucking client list, basically. Does it exist? Does it not exist?
It
It's
can be
both.
thought of as both, depending
Yeah.
on your perspective. Like, wait, what? Don't
Depending
fucking
on your
play me.
placement in reality, depending on your job title, depending on like, oh, it exists for some, like Ghislaine Maxwell, the first woman is, give her a Nobel, not Nobel Peace Prize, but give her some kind of medal for being the first person in history to be trafficking people to nobody. How do you
Right.
traffic without, you know what I mean, without
Oh,
a
dude.
buyer?
It's like the Akashic records. You know what I mean? It's like they either exist or they don't exist. You
They
know,
exist if
like,
you want them to exist.
Yeah.
They
yeah, that's
exist if
the
you
Epstein
believe they
files.
exist. Yeah.
It's the Epstein files all day. And so I don't know. It's very weird. It's very weird how they've had access to these files for a number of years and people are only now having an issue in politics. It's like the timing is very strange and it makes me wonder, really what's going on. And just the fact that he could even call it a Democratic hoax is obnoxious to
It
me.
is. I mean, look at the way DC is handling things right now. They are talking about how there's going to be actual riots and like supermarkets are going to get looted on November 1st when people don't get their food stamps and shit like that. Meanwhile, I'm about to take a trip up to Philly and DC in a week. And it's like,
Who?
oh my God, good cult members, everybody listening, start carrying a weapon on you. If you
All day,
haven't
every day.
started, now is the time, clearly. And it's not even because people are going to rob you for what you got, but can you tell me for certainty that they won't? That's all I'm saying. And then we just talked about this last night too. Apparently, even the Democrats are turning on Chuck Schumer right now, and they are accidentally letting it be known that this whole thing is a Democratic leverage ploy, which we already knew that. We knew that that's all this was. They're doing this to try to push their agendas, and they're about to let somewhere around 43 million Americans suffer to prove a fucking point against the Donnie T administration. And it's like,
Mhm.
y'all realize y'all are trying to win the next election. And y'all's whole constituents that y'all swear by are about to get real pissed off at y'all because y'all are acknowledging this on the mic. Then you got fucking Gavin Newsom acting like he's actually got a snowball's chance in hell of running for the presidency because
Oh
his
my God,
aunt
yeah.
Nancy Pelosi's in that position. It's like, would you shut the fuck up, dude? Just
Sit down,
stop.
American Psycho. Yeah.
For real.
He
God.
literally looks like Christian Bale like in that movie too, so it's really strange.
It's the teeth for me, dude.
Like, and damn well, whenever you're listening to that guy, there's nothing genuine or sincere that is even coming off of him. Like he
No.
seems like a fucking robot to me, right?
That's
Yeah.
what makes him the perfect politician in the best and worst way, because he is exactly what you guys both just described. And unfortunately, people, whether voting counts or doesn't count, there will still be retards that are going to vote for Gavin Newsom. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're going to vote for him in droves because it's like kind of like Tripoli says. Women are going to vote for him because it's your mom that wants to bang Gavin Newsom. You know what I mean?
Ew.
It's like, well, it's like kind of like how all the girls said with Hillary Clinton. I stand with her because she's like my aunt or my grandmother or something. You weirdly
Ugh.
like it's the fucking
It's
weird
her
cult.
turn.
Yeah, it's the cult of the whole thing of like believing whether it's left or the right that you're like this person cares about you. I'm like, meanwhile, Trump or Hillary Clinton could walk by you while you're on fire on, somewhere in New York, and neither one of them are going to piss on you, and they're about to piss their pants. They're not going to. Like,
And this is, dude, this is something that, and I'm not gonna lie, we were sucked into believing that Trump was gonna turn this all around. And I feel like a lot of people probably were, right?
this
And
most recent election, you mean?
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
big
yeah.
time.
I had a
And-
little hope, but go ahead. Yeah.
and we live streamed the election, and whenever he
Mhm.
he won, we were expecting to do it all night, but then they announced it at like, what was it, like 1 a.m. or something like that, and we only had to run like an hour extra for the live
Yeah.
stream. We were expecting it to be like a 6 or 7 hour thing, just because of the prior 4 year
Right.
situation.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so we were so totally on board. And then you start to see all the Doge things and you're getting excited. Oh my God, Days actually is draining the swamp. And then the cookie starts to crumble because then Elon starts to pull away. And then Elon's like, well, everybody, just to let you know, he's on the Epstein flight log. And it's like, okay, well, we kind of already knew that. It's not really, it's kind of an open secret. As far as what he was actually doing on the island, whatever, that's up in the air. But I
Yeah.
would say, look, if anybody did any of it, right? Like,
Hmm.
I mean, do we believe that Trump was blackmailing or being blackmailed? I guess is the question. And I would say that the answer is my personal opinion. Look how he is being controlled while he's in office this time, because it's not the same guy that he was in the prior 4 years. And maybe they got him by
100%.
the fucking balls right now with that Epstein shit, which is causing him to say that it's just a Democratic hoax. That's
I
my
think it was both. I think he's being blackmailed and he's also using it as leverage against others. It's kind of a damned if you do and damned if you don't situation, but as long as he's on the throne, so to speak, he'll be damned. You know what I'm saying? So if he's going down, everybody's going down in this bitch. And that's the thing, too. If the Democrats knew that and they had these logs for the last 4 years and they never decided to pull the trigger on it, you realize that would have killed the entire election. Kamala would have won if they would have pulled that out during the election, but they couldn't because, again, damned if you do and damned if you don't. Everybody's going down on that ship if it catches fire. So it's kind of one of those things. But
And then you even
this is
had
the bitch-
RFK's name come out after the
But-
election was over too.
He got ahead of it early, though. He was like, "You're
Was
going
it
to see my
before or
name
after,
twice
right?
on that." It was before, but he was
Oh,
like,
okay.
"You're going to see my name twice on that list."
Yeah.
I flew on the plane from here to here and here to here. I don't know what other fuck shit was going on, but that was my own involvement. I'm getting ahead of it now before the shit drops, and it's like, all right, I can
would
at least
say
put a
that-
level.
even that still needs properly
A
investigated.
little
For
sketchy
sure.
still,
For now.
yeah.
Yeah. For now, we'll take him at his word until we get. And who knows, dude? There's probably a good fucking chance we're never really going to
Oh, no.
figure all this out. We're gonna learn about the scam that COVID was. It's going to be so documented within old CIA files from. Oh, does everybody remember that year 2020? You know, way back in the day, and people are gonna be like, "I'm on my deathbed. I remember that one," and it's just gonna be so gone and forgotten that people are going to forget about it. Because I'll tell you what. They're going to release probably several more of these quote unquote pandemics, maybe a little bit more deadly, who knows, over the course of our life. Like I have no doubt that is coming.
Oh,
Well, that gets you
absolutely.
in the idea of like if our history is already a lie anyways, from what we know, and then you're like, well, wait a minute. Say it's even like Israel and trying to make some biblical prophecy happen on their own, or say it's, our own government or anybody that rules the history books and shit like that, so to speak. What if they're trying to get ahead of these things because they know that COVID's just going to be the next in a history book in 20 years, be like, oh, us looking back on the McCarthy era, shit like that. It's like we weren't there. We just have to read what was in the book, and it's going to be interesting to see as we get older, because I'm within the same age as you guys. I just turned 36. So it's going to be interesting as we become grandparents and shit like that at some point in our lives and see what our grandkids' history books say looking back on COVID.
Dude, you know what's funny is that so I recently been going down a whole new not a new one, but every year I go and do like all the Marvel movies in a row, right? And just
Okay.
they're my favorite. I love doing it. And so I just got done watching Endgame, and probably the best movie ever made. Just gonna throw it out there. But they in that movie they had to go back in a time machine and go steal the stones before Thanos can get them and all these things, right? And it's funny because they go back to a scene in the first Avengers movie whenever they didn't know that Shield was actually Hydra, right? And
Right.
it's funny because they thought that they were the good guys, and even Ant-Man's like, dude, they look like bad guys. Like, how did you not catch that? And I think that that's really what we're seeing right now. Most of the bad guys kind of look like bad guys, and they kind of sound like bad guys. They act like bad guys, So for the people that are wondering, like, who you can trust, dude, your gut, your instinct, like, that's a real thing. I'm just going to start going with that from now on.
Dude, I can't wait till my grandkids finally ask me, like, tell me about what 2016 was like. I'm just going to go ahead and open a bottle of tequila, slam 3 shots, light up probably a joint, and tell them, all right, it all started with this fucking gorilla. Okay. He got
Harambe.
shot. Next thing you know, there was dicks out everywhere. Then Halloween came, and there were these murder clowns that were just standing on street corners for the fuck of it. Next thing you know, everybody's all up in arms about some flu virus that came a couple years later that meant nothing. Next thing you know, I'm going to have them talking about the great Sino-Japanese Russo War of 2035. And they're like, wait, how did that go back to Harambe? Look, you would have had to have been there, but let's just say memes ruled the world. It was a crazy time.
And don't get me started on murder hornets.
Oh, dude,
God.
yeah. And monkeypox, damn it.
The fucking monkeypox followed. Everybody was supposed to die in 2012 because the Mayans jotted some shit down on a stone one day, and that didn't come to pass.
Maybe
There
we
was
did die.
There was a rapture that was supposed to happen. That didn't fucking happen either. We're just all over the place.
At some point, we're kind of like, okay, can we just do this already? I mean, like, I'm not trying to be nihilistic, but you're like, oh my God, can we, if something's gonna happen, let it happen, because what's happening next? You know, it's only gonna get worse, it seems like. Not to be nihilistic again.
Y'all remember when we were kids, if I was to draw 6 lines in a specific way, and I gave a pencil and said, turn this into a shape, some sort of a letter, you both would be able to correctly make the letter S in the 90s fashion, correct?
The cool S, dude.
My question is that what 6'7's about to become? Is the crazy cool S the 6'7 of this generation? It's not a drawing thing, but it's like a cultural thing that they all somehow know the joke, but no one else, unless you're of a certain age bracket, gets the joke.
Hive mind.
6'7" is gonna get faded out though. Like it's just like whenever people were dabbing, and
oh God, the dab.
It's another dab situation. It's another fucking Tide Pod challenge. It's a fucking it's a thing. It'll fade away. It's fugazi kind of situation.
God, I forgot about the dab on them, dude. That was a whole thing for a minute. God,
that's a great point, though, that Jonathan. I mean, yes, Jacob as well. Like, it could be a thing, and it could be a thing that we look back on and we're like, why did they ever think that? And we don't, like, you don't comprehend it, but at the same time, it could be a thing to where it's just a fad. It pops in for a minute. It's, from what I understand, I guess it's from a Skrilla rap song. That's where it originated from, and so. Okay, how many rap songs are out there that pop up and then disappear in 2 weeks because the next rap song comes out? So I think that's going to be the approach it's going to go. Like, the musician in me thinks like, well, it's just going to be a fad for a minute. It might fade out.
I hope so.
Those things.
I hope so too. My kids won't shut up. But yeah, go ahead.
Bro, I just looked at Christmas wrapping paper, 6'7" wrapping paper for Christmas presents, and I'm like, why? Fucking why? Who asked for this?
It's supposed to be 69, dudes.
I thought so.
The deal is that there are things that for some reason get wildly popular, and then whenever people see that they're wildly popular, now it almost gives them the privilege to do so. And if you do it, you're in. Like, it doesn't even matter if you know what it means. If you don't know what it means, you go 6'7", you're fucking cool now. It makes no fucking sense. And it's the same thing with like on. I'm a TikToker all the way. I love TikTok. It's my favorite social media, but there are some dumb fucking things that happen on TikTok, right? Like, everybody knows that. There's this thing going on right now about people talking about how they believe they're special because they're in group 7. Have you heard about this?
Oh my God, dude. Okay, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
There is no group 7.
Exactly.
What's group 7? What happened to group 6?
It was
okay. There is a group 6.
It was this TikTok. It's this TikTok artist musician that released her songs into groups on the internet, like onto TikTok, right? So if you're, I'm gonna put this song and I'm gonna say you're in this group, so that means that you're more empathetic and you're more loving and you're more open and
it's like an algorithm push thing.
Okay,
that's all it is. That's all it is. And people, I guess, attach themselves to group 7, and everybody, I mean, there has been millions of views all over this kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, old girl's just laughing to the fucking bank because everybody keeps on sharing her group 7 idea, which is her song that's attached to it.
And it's taken on a life form of itself. So now they're saying like groups 1 through 6, that's like regular algorithm pushes. If you're more of a country music fan, more of a thug rap fan, whatever the case, like these are groups that the algorithms will put your account into. And it's not something that you can like sign up for. It's something that you will just naturally find yourself there because the algorithm knows what you're looking for.
Gotcha.
So the organism itself that has become group 7 is allegedly those that control the algorithms. If
this
you're
is
a
like
part
that
of group
fourth
7,
hole conversation, right? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I mean, essentially.
We're like, what the hell's the fourth hole? No, but yeah, like group 7. So they're the supreme ones, I guess, if you will, right?
They're the ones that are actually moving and shaking who's getting on what algorithm. And if you're not in that group 7, then you ain't shit in the internet space. It's not real. It's not fucking real.
Group 7 is no different than these people that walk around claiming that they're part of they're one of the 144,000 chosen ones.
Right.
Oh my God, the Jehovah's Witness
thing. It is the same. Is that a Jehovah's Witness thing too?
So, okay, the Jehovah's Witnesses are the ones that actually full on believe that only 144,000 people are going to go to heaven.
How
And they're
dumb.
only going to be Jehovah's Witness, but that's why you have to be like the best JW you can be, or else you're not going to be included in the number. Keep in mind, the Jehovah's Witnesses are the same ones that think that there should have been a rapture 5 times by now. They've made a prediction, it didn't happen. They made we meant in a couple of years, and it still didn't happen. They're on like their 5th or 6th iteration of like calling their shot for the rapture, and it's like, bro, this is just a cult. Like, it's
How did
actually
I
just a cult.
how did
Really
I
is.
not get chosen as part of the 144,000? Well, Susan, it's because Tom over here, he knocked at 5,000 doors, and I see here on my checkboard that he only knocked at about 3,000.
It's a
Exactly.
Bill Lumberg situation, dude. It's Office Space, Yeah, but
Yeah, I'm gonna need you to go ahead and knock on a few more doors.
right.
I'm
Or
gonna
no,
do
no,
10
not
more
Lumberg. Well,
meetings.
yeah, Lumberg, but also what's the fifth? The boss at the restaurant that Jennifer Aniston works at. The
Old
15.
Bennigan's.
Yeah, it's the 15 pieces of flair. It's like, well, I'm wearing the minimum, and you're like, yeah, well, Steve over there knocked at about 30 more doors than you, so I'm sorry, but
Dude.
Yeah, that I felt bad watching that part of the movie. I'm just like, I know for a fact there is a company out there that is making their employees feel weird for not wearing enough pins and shit on their suspenders at a fucking restaurant. So it's like, whoever did their research when writing this movie, they had been in them shoes before. That's for goddamn sure.
well, that's Mike Judge, man. So that's Beavis and Butthead, King of the Hill, Daria, and
Mm,
everything. Like, so he always had that weird, like, he could mix in comedy and like social commentary at the same time, like where it was somewhat relatable. That's why like King of the Hill is still one of the greatest cartoons ever made, in my opinion. Because you're like, dude, you can still watch it and kind of agree with like, yeah, this is a kid's show. I mean, not kids, but you think cartoons, you think kids, shit like
They
that.
brought it
Beavis and
back
Butthead.
too.
Yeah, I haven't watched any of the new ones. Have you guys
I
watched the new ones
haven't
yet?
yet. I have not. I've heard they're good.
I have heard they're good. Yeah, and they apparently just renewed 2 more seasons because of great reviews on the new season.
Oh,
So fuck
good.
yeah.
Damn
Hell
it,
yeah,
Bobby.
dude.
Anyway, sorry, King of the Hillside tangent.
No, you're cool.
Hey,
One of the
no.
only American animes on the books,
Really is, dude. But it's
In
a great
Japan, they
social
acknowledge it that
commentary.
way.
It's like, us with having cartoons. That's like the old what's the old painting of the husband and wife with the pitchfork? I'm talking about the
American Gothic.
yeah, American Gothic. Like that's like our version of American Gothic, but in video form, like from our generation.
I like it.
Oh yeah, yeah. Derek, I do want to ask you if you notice my background. I got a little UFO-age going on in the
I
back.
love it.
I know how to do that. I'm living in 2025, baby. And so just out of curiosity, have you had any crazy UFO or alien experiences like that in your day, sir?
I've actually not. I haven't really had any like UFO stuff. I grew up with I grew up with both my parents, obviously, but my dad was a big hunter, and he had like not really like seen Bigfoot, which is I guess could go into UFO conversation, but he
Usually
had
does.
done like hunting leases and stuff like that, and heard like blood curdling screams. And he's like, I've been in the woods for decades. I don't know what the fuck that noise was. I've never heard it before. Talked to
Where
the
at?
land, Salina, Oklahoma.
Okay, I don't know if y'all got panthers out that way, but yeah, panthers in the night will sound like a woman screaming to death. It's
Oh
crazy.
yeah, I wouldn't doubt that. But anyways, yeah, like apparently my dad the next day or next whatever week or so he had, saw the landowner. He was like, "Dude, what the hell was this noise?" He's like, "That's just a damn Sasquatch, man. We got National Geographic out here sometimes. We got like I mean, it was kind of like one of those deals like southwestern Oklahoma and then like the northeastern well, not northeastern. Anyways, I think southwestern, northwestern areas of Oklahoma are some hot spots. So are southeastern Arkansas area, Ozarks. Like, so,
Yeah.
anyways, yeah, long story short, I've never seen some UFO shit. I've heard my dad and other hunter friends that have unexplainable shit. They've heard tree snapping stuff, but didn't
Yeah.
never see nothing.
So you're from Oklahoma originally?
Yeah.
Did you grow up close to or near an Indian reservation?
No. Did
Okay.
not.
That was
Grew
my
up-
next
grew up in
question. Did you
Tulsa.
ever see skinwalker type things ever in your day?
No, I've never seen nothing myself. I mean, like I said, I'd heard like, some of my dad's friends that are hunters as well. They'd always have some weird unexplainable story. And it was like just shit you'd hear when you were a kid and you didn't like, oh, maybe it was a bear or something. And then you get older and you're like, dude, maybe that was a dog man. I don't know what the hell it was, but as I look back on some of those stories, maybe there was
Yeah.
a little more than you guys thought there were of those things.
Well, you might be able to see a little bit more if you partook in the Holy Sacrament, sir.
Right, exactly.
Which
Mushroom.
one?
The
Have you?
mushroom.
Mushroom? Yeah,
Yeah.
mushrooms.
Oh,
Okay.
actually, it's been a while, dude. Having three kids. My wife's a nurse. She works overnight shifts and stuff. So it's like trying to find time to not have to stare at three kids and actually have a nice trip on mushrooms. It's kind of a daunting task to get around to that nowadays.
Microdosing, brother. That's the secret.
Yeah,
Microdosing.
true.
You just got to make sure you don't do a little extra on the micro and don't turn it into a macrodose. You know what I'm saying? But yeah.
Exactly. My kids' faces start melting.
Better take in. Yeah,
Oh shit.
it's pretty crazy. You start to see though, like at least for me, as far as doing psychedelics and stuff like that, dude, it's pretty interesting because you'll start to almost understand like sacred geometry a little bit more, and you'll
Hmm.
understand certain symbolism a little bit more. And Terrence McKenna once famously, I think it was Terrence McKenna that basically said that the more like once you start doing psychedelics, it like synchronicities become like obvious. Like
Oh
it is
yeah, yeah.
happening like crazy. And
The
so,
last time I
oh,
tripped was about 2 years ago, and it was about a gram and a half of mushrooms. And it was that kind of funny thing. Like I was actually home with the kids. The grandparents were supposed to have the kids for the night, so it was like, all right, cool. Me and the wife will be home, and she wasn't going to trip, but it was like I don't have to worry about, not freaking out. You get what I'm saying? I can handle my
Yeah.
shit, but like just being normal in front of my kids. So, anyways, I'm like, well, I'm not feeling nothing yet. The kids are home, and I'm like, I'm gonna go smoke a cigarette in the garage. As soon as I walked in the garage and I lit that cigarette and took a drag, that secret geometry that you're talking about, I can't explain what I saw, but it was like the white walls on my garage all of a sudden were like decorated. And I was like, whoa,
Yeah.
holy shit, it's there. I kicked in, but
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah,
that was my last experience. It wasn't nothing too crazy, but it was just kind of that mode of like you're saying, the colors shifted, and then all of a sudden you could kind of see some geometry painted on the walls, like a hieroglyphics kind of situation.
it is so wild too when you see it because, and that's why whenever people say, "Oh, you're just hallucinating," that's just your mind. I'm like, my mind ain't coming up with that shit, dude. There's no fucking way that it is that intricate and that exact. You know what I mean? Like some of the geometry that is going on is, I mean, you only see it in like ancient Egyptian fucking scrolls and stuff
Hmm.
like that. You know,
But what if your mind is that intricate? You're just not letting it free flow unless you're under the influence. Maybe that
Exactly.
is.
well, I'll tell you this. I actually believe that. Well, mainly because I think that, to just my own personal opinion, I think that we're all just one giant consciousness anyway. And maybe whenever we do mushrooms and stuff like that, we're just tapping into that whole collective of information. I think because whenever you see it, it feels like you remember it. It feels familiar. And
Yeah.
there's something really strange about it.
Follow-up question to that, because I've heard you and others say that we are all one. We're all a part of the one, the collective consciousness, this kind of thing. Just real quick. So you're not talking about us as in just Americans or us as in like your friend group. You mean the entire human race, correct?
I don't even necessarily mean only human. I mean, I believe that there's only one mind that has ever existed. That like
Okay.
I'm talking about beyond universal, multiversal.
So that being said, so like the warlord in Africa with child slaves and shit, we share a mind with him.
Yep, 100%. There is,
Why?
if you see, so, and I stem this off of Hermeticism personally, but one of the, I think it's the first law is that the first principle in Hermeticism is that all is mind. Like literally everything is mind, and so mind doesn't necessarily, it's not going to say one thing is good, one thing is bad. It's just one mind. That's all it is, right? And I don't know. I tend to stick with that. But then there's also the polarities. So that's another hermetic principle is the principle of polarity, right? And so it's so to say that if anything really, really, really good can happen, equally and oppositely, there has to be that opposite,
Yeah.
right? And so if there is one giant collective conscious mind and that we're all feeding into or we're all like fragments of, then it would have to it would have to be both. It would have to be both and everything in between. So and also there's this saying, and I actually really vibe with it, that if I was you, I would have made every decision that you had made that led you to this point. So imagine that. Like
No, no.
You know,
Like,
it's it gets you out of the judgmental phase and it gets you more into the empathetic kind of phase.
so you're
Right.
saying that we share a mind with pedophiles?
I'm saying we share a mind with everything that has a mind.
I get what both of you
It's
guys are asking because with the idea of like it's like you gotta have the sun, you gotta have the moon, you gotta have, cold, you gotta have hot, dark, light, whatever. It's like, you don't want to really necessarily empathize with that bad person, but the idea that we're all, whether you believe in Jesus or whether you believe in whatever you believe in, it's like, the idea of forgiveness, you understand that that person exists on this planet because not in a self-righteous way, but like I'm a better person than that evil piece of shit. And that's just the duality of life. You know what I'm kind of saying? So I'm with both of you guys on that.
Right. I
I
mean, and
get it.
we've all been people that have like judged others until that opportunity or whatever comes up to you, and now
Mhm.
you're like, and it's only in that moment, right before you're about to make a decision, once that opportunity or unfortunate opportunity comes in front of you, to where you're like, oh, I think I get it now. Like I get what that person had to go through. And look, I mean, some people are weaker minded and they kind of succumb to whatever their mind tells them and stuff like that. And it's only really, and this is why I'm so into all of this kind of stuff, is because I'm trying to essentially master my mind. And because the idea is that you are not your mind. Like all you are, you're just the awareness of your mind. Like that's the real truth, in my opinion, of all of it, is that the mind, you're not your thoughts, you're not your mind, you're not your body. If we are that thing, and it's like the double slit experiment, we are the awareness. Like, your awareness is what shifts reality. Your awareness is what judges reality. Your awareness is what,
Mhm.
experiments with reality. And you know what I mean? Like, and that's, if you really look at it like that, almost like whenever Neo is trying to figure out how to bend the spoon, right? Like
Yeah.
you don't have to bend the spoon. You bend your mind.
Right.
Yeah, you and me are very different on this, and that's for damn sure. And we've covered that many a time, but I'm just trying to understand it is all.
Yeah, it's fun.
Mm.
It's challenging because I feel like most people can't get out of their own way. And so and me included. I mean, I'm not separate from that at all. I mean, I've made some crazy decisions in my life. But it's just about trying to get into the natural flow. And I'm not gonna get woo-woo on y'all, but yeah, that's what I'm into. I'm into all that fun shit.
I like it.
Gotcha.
And some people say I'm demonic because of it, but that's okay.
That is not why people say you're demonic. They say you're demonic
Oh.
because you be fucking with the Gnostics and the tarot cards and the things like that. That's why people say you're demonic. And yeah, trying to call out the Bible for certain things. Yeah, certain people that get down with it would immediately just be like, "See, he's being powered by Satan." So I mean, I get
Well,
it.
no, just by me saying that, like, I believe that there's one mind, people would instantly think that it's heretical because are you talking about God's mind? Is that what you're doing? Because that's the only all mind, and it's like, okay, I'm not. I've gotten away from trying to convince everybody else of what I believe. I'm not doing that anymore.
Well, I mean, in a way of like a negative side of, I mean, agreeing with what you're saying, but like the negative sides of what can happen with all of one mind, I guess you get the hive mind idea of things, and we see current events of fucking No Kings protests a couple weeks ago, this idea of raiding Walmarts and shit this weekend, and it's like if you guys remember, there was a No Kings protest, whatever, 2 weeks ago, and there was a white guy that got interviewed, and they were asking him, "Why do you hate Trump?" Whether you love or hate Trump, it's regardless, doesn't matter. But this guy had no reason. Like he was just like, "Well, because we're all out here because we all hate him." And they like tried to follow up, and they're like, "Do you have any reason why you don't?" He's like, "Well, I don't personally have any reason, but I'm with all these people," and it's that back to the one mind in a different kind of way. Like that hive mind can be pretty fucking dangerous sometimes where
Well,
you have,
people just need a friend, is what's going on,
Bro,
I think.
no, you're on to something here. So I saw this one guy who went out to the No Kings protest, and he was just asking people their opinions on things. And so what are you out here for? Well, listen, man, we're all people, and everybody has human rights. Okay, dope. So like, you believe that all human beings have inalienable human rights to life, right? Absolutely. What about the unborn? Every single one of them. Well, so life.
angry leftist tears. Yeah.
Bro, every single one of these that were all about, we are all people, we have human rights, and this, as soon as, what about like the unborn or like people in the womb, these human beings in the womb, every single one of them, turned away, started shitting on him, or some even got violent. Like, what do you even think you're doing out here, Trumper? And it's like, I'm not even out here for Trump. I'm out here asking a very simple question. It's the hive mind and people not using actual critical thinking and thinking for themselves. And we've said this a million times on the show. If you're going to die on a hill, at least let it be on a hill that you have formed yourself based on facts and information that you have attained for yourself. Don't just die on the hill of things that are third, fourth, fifth person information that's gotten down to you and you've never even cracked a book on it yourself. It's mind-blowing.
Well, and there's so many ironies with the whole no kings thing in the first place, because if you think about it, they're the ones screaming like no kings, and then we saw the numbers, the low numbers of people that actually showed up to the events. And what were they? They were mostly old white liberal women and grandpas for the most part. And then the irony that nobody's really said out loud yet is that those are the same fucking people that are obsessed with the royal family. So when the queen died, it was the fucking end of the world to these people, but we can't have no kings in America, damn it. But did you guys see that the queen died? And you're like, come on, dude. If the left didn't have double standards, it wouldn't have any standards at all.
Dude,
bro, the boomers are ruining this country.
100%.
The day that the queen died was one of my like best days of my life. Well,
oh, dude, my memes went through the fucking roof that day. But yeah, go ahead.
But first of all, because the Queen Lizard herself died, and my son was born on the day that Queen Elizabeth died. So it was like
shit.
Perfect, dude. It was like
Nice.
it was like getting rid of one evil to bring in one beautiful innocent.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah, dude.
Yes,
It was awesome.
dude.
But
And
yeah,
you're right, though. The boomers are obsessed with the royals. They're obsessed with ruining our economy. They're obsessed with blaming either the generation before them or the generation after them for ruining everything, let alone everything that they've done to this point.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, you're right. You look at the No Kings. Yeah, you saw some college kids. You saw some screaming libtards like that. Yeah, but if you look at the vast majority of people that were out there at the No Kings protest, most of them were fucking boomers. Who were all about how much we need to trust the government, even though that's the same generation that was screaming at Woodstock about how fuck the government. So it's like, y'all don't even make sense unto your own generation, dog.
Hey,
Right.
I'll tell you what, though, it is interesting that so much attention was paid to that No Kings protest that was going on everywhere, and no attention is being paid. Did you see what's going on over in Italy with the protests over there, even? Right? Like in Italy, in Nepal, and
Yes,
I'm talking about hundreds of thousands of people are flooding the streets in protest for the whole Palestine thing. And it's crazy. It's getting zero coverage, and you're not going to see that over here. Meanwhile, if you do that over here, you're going to have cops come over to your house. And so recently I've been seeing a bunch of people that, they said something about Israel on Facebook or on Instagram or something like that. This is happening in America. They say something about Israel and the fucking cops show up to their door because they could be dangerous. And it's like, bro, what world are we living in? And I mean, some of them are even going to jail. It is crazy.
Yeah,
We're living
it's
in
fucking insane, dude.
Loony world right now.
The whole ceasefire thing that was brokered, and then because of some misunderstanding about a body that was being transferred, a hostage or something like that. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, brokered and then broken. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so basically the ceasefire is going on. They're exchanging hostages or bodies of hostages and these types of things. Apparently there was 3 Hamas fighters, and I saw the video. They returned this body to Israel like 2 years ago, apparently, and then got the body back, and they were wrapped it up in a tarp, and they were burying it so that they could find it, quote unquote, again and give it back to Israel. They found out about it. They sent bombs and they killed like 104 people. And it's like, wait, and then they were like, all right, fine. Now the ceasefire is back on. And honestly, we didn't even break the ceasefire. If you're going to be technical, I don't even know what you're talking about. It's like, Israel, can you just stop fucking around for 2 goddamn seconds, bro? We're so close.
Israel's playing red light, green light.
Dude, for real. Like, we're so close to everybody just being okay here. And y'all can't quit fucking about. It's insanity, but oh my God.
But our tax dollars go boom either way,
They do. And I'm glad that somebody in DC is saying, hey, wait a minute, why are we sending Israel $4 billion a year? Wait, could we just not do that? Is that a thing that we could just like all kind of agree on? We worry about America first. Thank God that is actually taking place right now. I hope it sticks.
Who are you talking about specifically? I mean, there's only a couple people. There's like Thomas Massey and Marjorie Taylor Greene, Rand Paul,
Yes.
and they're all under the
Agreed.
fucking crosshairs of Trump right now. And meanwhile, he's re-endorsing Lindsey fucking Graham, Lady G, if you will, and you're like, dude,
Yeah.
oh my God. Back to the idea of like Donald Trump, like you were saying, Jonathan, earlier as we were talking, this presidency seemed like, okay, as he won, like maybe a return to normalcy. And we're like, no new wars. Hey, what happened to day one? I can make a phone call. Is, Russia and Ukraine be over? Oh, we're still fucking going there. It's like, Bibi Netanyahu. It's like, dude, come on, man. Like, you can tell these people these things out loud. And obviously, like, whether you don't have the power that you think you have, or that he doesn't have the power that we think he has. That's kind of the bigger question. I think Trump's part of both of those.
I agree. And I think that as of this moment, he's too busy lining his pockets with Qatari dollar bills. He wants people to keep talking about Israel. He wants that to stay on the big zeitgeist right now so that him and his whole cabinet can just start raking in Qatari dollars when nobody's paying attention to Qatar.
Golden
that's
airplane.
Oh, my God, dude, the fucking airplane. Then you find out that Pam Bondi was a lobbyist for Qatar, getting paid $115,000 a month to lobby for them to kind of make people stop talking about their human rights violations a few years ago. Then you see she's the one that signed off on this massive gift being given to Trump. And yes, I saw some comments. People were like, doesn't Jacob realize that Air Force One is going to be used by all the presidents after Trump? No, it's actually not.
It's not.
It's fucking not.
To him.
As soon as Trump leaves office, it's being donated to the Donald Trump Library. They're going to have to find their own fucking plane. And it's like, wait, what do you mean? It's like, yeah, dude, no. He is riding Qatar's dick right now, but he wants everybody to still pay attention to Netanyahu. He doesn't give a fuck about Israel. He doesn't give a fuck about Palestine. He wants them dollar bills because at the end of the day, gun to his head, Donald T is going to be a businessman. He was big business before he got to the presidency. He's going to be big business after the presidency, and I'm just going to go ahead and prophesy on this shit right now. Before he leaves office, when it's all said and done, I guarantee you he is going to executive order some crazy tax cuts to the absolute wealthiest of the 1% to hook up him and his business homies before he leaves office, and he's going to do it on some slick shit to where nobody's going to even know what happened until it's months after the fact.
Right,
I promise
the
you.
Sunset. Hell yeah, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
And it's so
You're
funny
right.
because whenever he came in, at least during his first term, I don't know if he's doing it now, but he was like, I'm not doing this for money. I don't need the money. I don't need all of that. And he even, allegedly went to forego his presidential payment, which is like, was it like 300 grand a year or something
Yeah,
like that?
something like that.
$400K. And for the record, most presidents do that. Most presidents donate their entire paychecks to charities while they're in office. It's actually strange for one not to.
But most don't come in as billionaires and say they can do that,
Right.
like a big dick contest. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but they all end up leaving richer.
Oh,
How does that work? I'm sure it's not because of fucking book deals. Miss me with that book bullshit, dude. You're not getting stupid rich off of that. I don't care. Big Mike Obama, becoming Michelle. Get the fuck out of here with your big old swinging dick. I'm so tired of these people claiming that they got so rich off of book sales. I mean, sure, you can get money off of book sales. I'm not saying you can't, but billions? I don't think so.
The only exception to that, I would argue, would be the Clintons. When they left office, in 2001, they were pretty much bankrupt. 2002, they were so bad off that they ended up like they didn't know what they were going to do. And then they called their old homeboy Jeff, the guy with the island and the plane and the whole nine. And he put them on the speaking circuit. He got them talking to a publisher about book deals. Next thing you know, from the span of 2003 to 2005, they went from damn near destitute to being like kings among the fucking peasantry of politicians. When they left the White House, though, because they were really shit at managing their money, they were damn near bankrupt. Everybody thinks Clinton was such like a great president. The economy was booming. That's because the dot-com bubble. A pet rock could have been in the White House at that time. A brand new industry on a brand new wavelength called the internet had never existed like that before. It just so happened to be that he was in office when it took place. He was dog shit at managing money. Fuck, look at what he did with Arkansas while he was there.
Oh
as
yeah.
governor. For the most part, you're right
Was a
though.
wild
Most
time.
presidents leave the White House way wealthier than when they were there, but the Clintons, they're really dumb in that regard. So yeah,
Some don't even have to become president. Look at Pelosi.
fuck, you're right. Now look at her husband. Her
Uh,
husband has a better track record on stocks than fucking Warren Buffett. It's
oh,
insane. I think he has like a
yeah.
64% win. It's insane.
It's nuts, man. It's crazy that we like, it's like they just gaslight us. It's like we know these things. We know that like the fact that everybody always goes back to the warring factions of left and right paradigms and all that BS. And it's like, man, once you start to just really just start looking at just follow the money. That's all you
Yep.
have to do. You just follow the money. And then you see that everybody half the time votes on the same bill on opposite party lines or this or that or the other. And then it just turns into fucking WWE. You're like, oh, so you're like enemies in the ring, and then you're chugging beers and drinking champagne backstage afterward, and
Kayfabe. It's kayfabe all day.
100%, dude. And it's all it is. And we still fall for I actually think a lot of people are starting to wake up to it. But and I'm not trying to be like black pilled on this, but like what without some and I'm not advocating for this, but like without some big political unrest or something situation in the streets, what do you guys think is ever going to change it? Because I think it's only going to get to where they think like they're going to start noticing that we're all waking up. They're like, "Oh fuck, they know. They know. They're calling each other, but they're like, "Yeah, but we're still in charge. What are they going to do?" I
Bro,
mean, what do you think changes anything?
I'm so turbo black pilled on politics. It's not even funny. I
Me
have
too.
zero hope. There is no hope. There's not even, a couple of people you mentioned earlier, like Thomas Massey and, Rand Paul and fucking Marjorie Taylor Greene. First of all, Marjorie Taylor Greene was a fucking meme whenever she got in. Like,
Oh
no
yeah.
took her serious, right? She was all over the QAnon shit. I mean, she got in because of her popularity with the Q stuff, with Lynn Wood and all that other bullshit.
Hmm.
So it's like, I don't know if I can even trust her because she was just riding on the waves of the Q wave, I think is what was going on with that. Thomas Massey, I don't know. I thought he was a Democrat. I could be wrong.
He's
Like,
actually like more libertarian than anything. But you should look up a documentary of him he made. It's like him, the house he built on his own land with all the materials from his own land. He's got aquifers and like his own farming shit. Like Thomas Massey is like, why the fuck are you a politician, dude? Like you're the only like I'm not saying he's probably doesn't have shady shit in his closet. I don't know, but he seems like the only guy that's like 1,000% transparent. Like you're not a politician material. But anyways, continue.
no, I agree. I mean, and like the little bit of me that is in that turbo black pill full of just nothing but void does see a tiny little, needle opening hole of light for Thomas Massey. Like outside of that, I'm sorry, nobody takes Rand Paul serious. I
Nope.
mean, I love Rand Paul personally. I think he's fucking awesome. Nobody takes him serious. Same thing with Marjorie Taylor Greene. Nobody takes her serious. She
Hmm.
seems like a really nice woman. She seems like she's fighting the good fight, but I'm sorry, she's not going to move the needle. Like that's not going to happen. Thomas Massey, I mean, a literal snowball's chance in hell that something like that with Thomas Massey actually comes to any fruition. But even still, dude, I'm so tainted because of how wrong I feel or how wronged I feel like I personally was by being on that Trump train for the last fucking 8 years. I mean, I am so like I lost all hope with it. I mean, I want to have that shred of hope for Thomas Massey, but I at this point I'm just so out, dude.
I'm with you. I've lost all hope for politicians. I just think it's cool that like, well, at least he's got the balls to be on the same R next to his name as Trump and kind of being the loudest. It's like, yo, this is fucked up. And then everybody in the Republican side's like, boo this man. You're like, okay, that's the guy you might maybe want to listen to a
Dude, you know
little bit,
what though?
but I
It's
don't
the
think he's got a
same
snowball's chance in hell like you exactly explained.
the
Yeah.
same fucking song and dance of what we all thought about Trump whenever it first started, right?
Yep.
He
Yep.
was he was the black sheep, right? He was the one that was not a politician. He was a businessman. And if anybody's gonna turn this debt upside down and make this country rich and all this, it was gonna be him, right?
Yeah.
And it seemed quite like, at least, on the outside looking in, he seemed kind of sincere, even though, you looked at his track record and you're like, I don't know, man, this guy seems like he's fucked over a lot of people in his past. But for him now to be like maybe he's had a lot of guilt and now he's starting to overcome. He's trying to be a better person because a lot of the things that he's saying is the things that I agree with. And you're like, hey, you know what? I can look past that. I can, I'm not going to read, I'm not going to, look at the book cover and just judge it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, but even still, I think we can all agree we'd still, even knowing all that we know now about him, knowing how it was going to play out, I'd still rather him be in the position rather than Kamala. But the bitch of it is that that's the only two options that we had.
I don't think,
and it's not like Kamala over Biden either. I would rather Trump over Biden as well, just so we're clear, given those two options. But like, to answer your question, Derek, it's like what's going to change? Unfortunately, I don't see a lot of things changing as far as the political spectrum is concerned. I got a little bit of some hopium pills when it comes to the freshman class of politicians that are entering DC right now, because as of this moment, they seem to be getting into it for the right reasons, to shake things up, to break away from career politicians, all of these things. But that being said, check back with me after their third term and we might be having a different conversation. You know what I'm saying? I'm hoping that they will stick to the fucking script that they have claimed when they first got elected, kind of thing. As far as on the big picture side of politics, what's going to happen? Honestly, if history does repeat itself, which that has been proven time and time again, I feel like this republic, or Democratic Republic, whatever you want to call America, I feel like it's probably going to go by the wayside, but not in the same fashion that the Roman Empire fell or the British Empire fell. It's not going to collapse in on itself and become a way smaller version of itself. I think that it is going to fade off into obscurity. We're going to have an economic collapse, and both sides are going to be too busy pointing the finger at each other for who started the economic collapse rather than just, fixing the economy and getting us back on track.
That's how I
see us going into it.
The old canoe analogy. You're both in the same canoe. There's a hole on one side, and you're pointing at the other guy because his is sinking, and you're both in the same fucking canoe. Like, it's still sinking.
Exactly. And I'm hoping that I'm wrong. There's so many, I don't want to say fail safes, but there's so much of a safety net that America, culturally and size-wise and militarily and technology-wise, all these things that we have built for ourselves, to where even if we were to collapse right now, we would still be top dog on a global stage in so many different categories. But I don't know what that looks like once we collapse, because no other nation throughout the course of human history has had the reach that we do, the advances that we do. The brain drain has funneled to us for so many decades. So I don't know exactly what an American collapse is going to look like. I think it's inevitable, but I also think it's going to be kind of unprecedented as far as world history is concerned.
Dude, you kind of got my thoughts on something real quick, because you think back to, like, okay, if everything's going to shit, and then there's a lot of other countries that are going to shit right now too that don't really get talked about on the news and everything. But then you've also got this what the hell's the giant fucking comet thing or whatever they're talking about.
Oh, the Three-Eye Atlas.
Three-Eye Atlas. Yeah, okay. And then there's this weird timing of, like, the government shut down while they started talking about that for a little bit. And you're like, oh, dude, well, wait a minute. Like, I don't really trust NASA. I don't know if I'm completely a flat earther, but I'm also like, I'm not completely a glober either. But the idea, like, okay, NASA, Space Force, shit like that, like, those are government entities. Aren't they shut down too? And then we've got this thing hurling at us, apparently. Like, so what if there's that old irony that everybody's like, oh, the world's going to shit. Fuck it. Bring on the asteroid. And you're like, maybe it's coming. I don't know.
Yo, and in the middle of a government shutdown, 4 Canadian provinces are actually real life starting the process to become American states.
Whoa.
They are starting the secession process. Yes.
No way.
That's really happening. Even though America's shit and America was never great and blah, 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 Canadian states are like, you know what? Hey, fuck being a province. I understand America's not perfect, but it's a whole lot better than this shit. How about we just join forces, which is gonna, if that actually goes through to fruition, Canada will collapse, because those 4 provinces are their breadbasket and their money machine for the entire country.
Which ones are they?
Manitoba, Alberta, British Columbia. I'm gonna look it up. It's the 4 that are right next to each other. It's like above North Dakota and Montana.
Okay, I can picture what you're saying. Yeah. Dude, that's really, really interesting. Meanwhile, you still hear the rumors of California's going to secede. You're like, oh, Jesus, here we go.
Fucking please, please, for the love of God, Jesus, I know you're listening. Let's make this happen.
Float off into
my
the
God.
ocean.
That's great. I don't think anybody would really be concerned about that. Now, granted, the vast majority of the state of California is, and I don't just mean politically Republican, although that's true, the vast majority of the state does not fuck with Gavin Newsom. It's just the main cities. If you were to take away Oakland, Los Angeles, Sacramento, and I guess you could throw San Diego in the mix, the rest of California is like, dude, diehard patriotic Americans. It's the big cities that's ruining it for the entire state. But I mean, fuck, dude. That's why there's a mass exodus out of California right now. They're hoping that shit has the fault line happen and they go off into the ocean. But
I think those 4 provinces are British Columbia, Alberta, Quebec, and well, it says Newfoundland and Labrador. So
yeah, hold on. Quebec is on the list.
I don't know. I'm not sure exactly what it's referring to, but it says there are no current serious movements for any Canadian provinces to cede to the United States. However, discussions have occasionally mentioned provinces like BC, Alberta, Quebec, Newfoundland, and Labrador in hypothetical contexts, but these are not formal proposals. I would say that, that would be interesting, but at the same time, dude, you want to talk about shifting the scale? I mean, because think about how liberalized Canada has gotten over the past.
No shit,
long, right?
Yes.
You want to talk about like swing states, like that's
so.
I feel like those are going to be blue states.
That's why I thought it was crazy when you said Quebec. Quebec has tried to secede from Canada multiple times. I think their most recent run of like becoming their own independent nation was like in 2004 or something like that. It didn't pass, but they are more often than not die-hard screaming libtards as a province. So for them to be added to that 4 is crazy. I thought British Columbia, Alberta, Manitoba, and fuck the other one you just named other than Quebec, Newfoundland. I thought the Newfies wanted to join in on this shit. If Quebec does too, dude, yeah, Canada's done. Like they have no more. That's like basically a third of their province is just saying, fuck you, we're out of here.
I almost wonder if they would be even more interested to cede to the United States just solely because of the whole tariff situation. Because did you hear, what was it? I think it was South Korea that just agreed to pay like $400 billion so that they can lower their tariff rate percentage.
South Korea just gave Trump a gold crown yesterday too, which is fucking ironic because of the no kings thing. And now he just got a king's crown in South Korea. I think it was like yesterday or the day before. And you're like, oh my God.
Now I did see that Xi and Trump, they just had a meeting last night. And because Trump was about to put him under a 155% tariff. And Xi, the big constituent part of this was like, hey, we need you to stop sending fentanyl making chemicals to cartels. And we need you to slack up on some of those rare earths and magnets. We need that shit. And if you can slack up on some of these things, maybe we'll keep the tariff at a solid 55%. But if you keep fucking around, it's going to be a 155. From what I was told, they seem that they got to a pretty decent agreement, although I haven't read the like inner workings of what was finally agreed upon. But Trump has been on a big Asiatic tour for the past week. So I did hear about him stopping in South Korea. I did not hear about the crown.
Yeah, it's a funny gold crown, dude. There's a photo of him and he's just kind of grinning like Trump grins. And you're like,
I'm going to find it. I'm going to find it.
It's like 2 weeks after the no kings. You're like, that's funny as shit.
Oh my God. Of course it is. Of course. Why not?
Because the world's a stage. Damn it. It's all fake and gay. We don't know what the hell's real anymore. I mean, like, speaking of tariffs, like, you know, I'm not a Trump hater. I'm a kind of government hater, you know, like at the end of the day, I don't give a shit what side it is. They're all corrupt. They're all blackmailed. They're all diddling kids. They're doing all the fucked up shit, worshiping Moloch, whatever their choice of fancy is, they're doing it. But like, what do you guys think on the tariffs? Like, yay or nay? Because are we really seeing anything out of these tariffs yet? Or are we actually just kind of seeing more prices go up on goods being imported and shit like that?
So it's a two-pronged issue for me. On the easy answer for me is that yes, I'm in favor of tariffs, but there's got to be a little bit of a working relationship, right? Oh God, that's the crown.
Yeah.
Dude. Holy
shit. That's not no little tiara, dude. That's a whole fucking rig.
They say no king.
Bro, Oh, that is legit. And it's in a whole glass case. That's royal as fuck. Bitch be looking regal.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of symbolism here that we can
There's
really
got to
look
be.
at.
Oh, dude, let's tap into it.
Dude,
What
it
you
looks
talking
like
about
it.
the golden age and all the fun shit, you know?
Am I tripping, or does this look like one long, huge dick with a bunch of little baby dicks on the side of it?
Oh my God. I'm sure that there's some sort of symbolism in South Korean
Yeah, I can
culture
see
of what
the
that symbol is, but I could see it. But to your point, Derek, so all right. America is a nation of consumers. I'm not a big fan of that fact, but 1 + 1 = 2. America is a status of consumers. This is what it is, right? This is an infallible fact. That being said, if any nation wants to do business here, I don't have a problem with them paying the extortion fee. Okay, that's the price of doing business in America. That being said, we got to keep it into the realm of reality here. I believe in a mirror tariff situation. So, for instance, if Ford wants to sell cars in Italy and Italy says, cool, but 15% tariffs on your vehicles. Okay, that's the price of doing business in Italy. That's a part of it. But any Italian car that gets sold here needs to happen in the same fashion.
Oh
And no,
yeah,
I don't
equal.
believe that that needs to trickle down to the consumer who's buying the product. I believe that the company should pay the extortion fee the same way that it's any kind of. All right, to put this to another scale, if you are trying to open up a shop in a neighborhood that's ran by the mafia, you're going to have that guy come over and clean your windows. And hey, bro, hey, I don't need my windows cleaned. No, you don't understand. I've been cleaning these windows down this whole street for years now. Look, you're going to pay me $20 a week and I'm going to clean your windows and we're going to be good here.
Or you
No, I
won't
don't
have
need
any
my windows
windows.
cleaned.
Yeah.
Right. You come back the next morning, your windows are busted out. And you're like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? You call the insurance company, you do the whole thing, you get new windows. He comes out there cleaning them. He's like, hey, I don't need my windows cleaned. Oh, yeah, well, it's just $100 a week. You know, it's like, whoa, what happened to $20? See, that was before we had this little incident. So now it's going to be $100 a week. There is a price to doing business. Well, that's not fair. Nobody ever said life was going to be fair in this bitch. Okay. It's just the way it goes. So if China is putting tariffs on us to sell goods in China, we should reciprocate with the same tariff. And either A, it's going to be an even wash and everybody makes their slice of the pie, or B, it's going to be a wash and everybody says, hey, how about we have a mutual agreement to where you and I don't hold tariffs because it would have been a what to what anyway. There's got to be some wheeling and dealing associated with this. Launching a tariff war to prove a point, I understand on the onset why Trump did it to the level that he did to all the countries on earth, because for years, America's had no tariffs. Nobody's had to pay the tax. So he had to let a statement go out loud and proud. He had to have a shot go over the bow to where everybody understands, hey, America is slapping their big fat dick on the table now, and it's time for all of you to acknowledge that. So he gave everybody 90 days, 6 months to kind of work it and wheel and deal a little bit and understand things. So I understand why it needed to be the showmanship of it. Now that that's gone, the wow factor is over. It's time to get down to business and brass tacks. And if you're not able to do that, Mr. Author of The Art of the Deal, then we need to have a different kind of conversation.
We got
That's just
another
my
deal
2 cents.
coming up. I agree 1,000% with you because, you know, whatever is being done to us, I mean, whether it's us or some other country or whatever, like fair is fair. And I get it. Life is not fair. The world's not fair or whatever. But it's just in the business world, a fair deal is a fair deal. Like you said, the art of the deal, you know, Mr. Art of the Deal himself. So I'm not trying to completely make this like a shitting on Trump. It's just a hypothetical of like, okay, the idea of Trump basically walked in the room with all the countries and just whipped his dick on the table and said, "Here's what we're doing. We're gonna raise the tariffs. And I love the word tariff. It's this great word, whatever." And then it's like, okay, well, us as the American people that were like leading on the campaign trail, like, you know, following the election as it was coming up, you're like, yeah, tariffs are gonna bring America back. Well, here we are, you know, almost a year, well, not almost, whatever, 9 months, 10 months into the first year of the presidency. And it's like, okay, I get it, it takes time, but like, is that same momentum of like, oh, bring the tariffs. And meanwhile, we got more military in the streets. We got more idea of Trump just announced yesterday, I think, Trump and Hegseth, something to do with bringing more National Guards troops trained, like just presence in the streets in all 50 states. And you're like, okay, are we just saying we're going to bring money back to America, but we're actually just suppressing goods from people. Like we're not importing more shit, and then we're also hoarding people into their houses and bringing more military into the streets. I'm not trying to go like, oh, Trump's literally Hitler. It's just questions to where it's like, okay, look, I voted for Trump in his first term. I'd still have Trump over Kamala or Biden or fucking even Obama again, honestly. But it's like, where is the long game of this? Because Trump's only going to be here for a couple more years. So if we keep setting this precedent at the moment, the next guy that comes in that can come in for 8 years or whatever, you guys see where I'm going with this, where it's like this slippery slope of just frog in the boiling pot, like kind of feels like the fucking pot's on fire right now a little bit, you know?
It
Yeah.
does. And I'll tell you what, dude. I mean, to be honest, I was a big fan of the whole tariff situation. I was, because I was like, you know what? If it helps, maybe lower taxes. One of the things that he was floating is that, back in the day, we used to only like our taxes, or I'm sorry, our tariffs, our
Yes.
taxing other countries is what, we didn't even need to tax our people because of the amount of tariffs, that we had on everybody else. And so at first, whenever he was, fucking tariffing the shit out of everybody, I was like, oh shit, all right, so maybe one day we won't have to pay taxes. That's a great idea. And then you look at the whole Doge thing, and you're like, oh my god, look at all this money that's being saved because it's being pulled out of these like transgenders on ice programs and everything over in fucking Sweden or wherever. It's like, you can get behind that. But the question is, and the same thing with even the whole food stamp situation going on right now,
Yeah, yeah. Let's
is
get
going to
into
be
that.
happening
Go ahead,
in
yeah.
like 2 more days. The people are not going to be getting food stamps. I would not be shocked if there are riots in the streets.
Nope.
Just saying. Maybe the first week it goes by, everything's pretty chill because some of that money or some of that food tends to flow over into the next month a little bit. Totally understandable. I think that it's setting up right now to where something big is about to happen. I really feel that. And if all of that money that you're making on tariffs and you're not giving it back to the people, or at least saying to the people, hey, you don't have to owe this much out of your check every month, where is that money going? That's my question. They're
Yes.
saving all the money on food stamps. They're saving all the money with the tariff stuff. I mean, they pulled out a lot of the money with the whole Doge thing. I don't know how much of that actually went through, but I think some of it did. Where's all that money going? Like we can sit here and clap and we should, all applaud and be very happy that we have a president that is putting America first, which he's actually not. But let's just say that he actually is. We can all be really stoked about that. But where is that money being spent now? Because, it was in my, understanding that whenever we would pay taxes, it was going towards things like this. And now that it's not going towards those things, where is it going? And you just mentioned something about how, they're going to be deploying the National Guard everywhere. And maybe there's going to be more police stations being held up. And I would actually say they might be getting ready for some fucking, like maybe some kind of martial law. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe some kind of like crazy policing going on, especially with people. Dude, people are getting fucking arrested because they posted something on Facebook. Like, this is not free. This is not freedom of speech. This is not the land of the free anymore. People are not only paying more now in taxes and goods and everything else, we're paying way more on everything, and we're getting rights removed. And then you just see that Trump is now silently, nobody's talking about it, coming after the fucking Second Amendment. So I'm just saying they're all playing for the same team. And
What do you mean? Hold on. What do you mean coming after the Second Amendment? We can't just like sidestep that one.
just
There was a new one. Yeah, go ahead. Within the last day or two?
Yeah, within the last day or two about him. He's setting forth some things. Let me try and find it. But it's essentially, it's more than just the whole bump stock conversation. I'll say that.
I mean, that's as of this moment, FRTs are awesome. That's the reciprocating triggers. And although they are completely legal, they turn any weapon into a fully automatic weapon. They're so fun, and they're super
Are we talking
legal,
about the
and you don't have
Glock
to register them.
situation?
Have you seen that? The new
Yeah.
insert for a Glock that just turn. It's not a switch. It's not a switch. But my God, does that bitch run? It's
And then isn't
gorgeous. But
Glock-
now,
They're freaking out right now, aren't they?
dude, Glock is shutting down their weapons component.
Yeah.
Glock only does two things. They sell guns and they sell horse cum. And they have decided No, legitimately, the owner of Glock, he's also big into the thoroughbred horse market, and he like sells horse cum like for high profit margins. Neither
Who
here
knew
nor there.
Glock stood for horsecock? But anyways,
Who,
yeah.
who knew, right? But that's his thing. They do two things very well: selling cum from thoroughbred fine racehorses and selling really good, reliable weapons. And they decided that they're done with weapons now. And it's like, you motherfuckers.
I got it.
Wow.
I got it. It's because if you're a weed smoker, that's what it is. So
What?
this was just posted literally 2 days ago. It says Trump, an avowed Second Amendment champion, defends a gun ban with no historical justification. Says a few weeks after taking office, President Trump called the Second Amendment an indispensable safeguard of security and liberty, declaring that the right to keep and bear arms must not be infringed. But in a case that the Supreme Court recently agreed to hear, the Trump administration is urging the justices to uphold one of the federal government's most constitutionally dubious restrictions on that right. Since 1968, Congress has prohibited gun possession by illegal drug users, a provision that affects millions of peaceful Americans who pose no plausible threat to public safety. That gun ban is illogical, unjust, and inconsistent with this nation's historical tradition of firearm regulation, meaning it fails the constitutional test that the Supreme Court established in 2022. Under federal law, it is a felony. Okay, I want to get to it, but basically, it's going along the lines of like, let me try and find it here. Judging from a survey data, something like 20 million Americans, mostly marijuana users, are violating this law right now. In addition to illegal gun possession, they can be charged with 3 related felonies, which means they theoretically could face nearly a half century behind bars, even if they never handle firearms while intoxicated. So despite its avowed devotion to the Second Amendment, the Trump administration sees nothing wrong with that policy. It wants the Supreme Court to overrule a 2024 decision in which the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit found no justification for disarming a sober citizen not presently under an impairing influence. It's basically going on to say that like even if you get pulled over and you have like a gun in your car, right? And if they can basically piss test you if they smell weed, if they suspect weed or whatever. If you had a gun in your car and you have weed in your system, now it stays in your system for a hot minute, right?
Yeah.
You could go to jail and get your gun right taken away from you. And what they're saying here is you could, fall upon the trifecta of going to jail for fucking 50 years by like pissing, hot if you have a gun in the car.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you on that. I'm not saying I agree with that. I'm saying I agree with what you're saying, what you're leading up to, because I live in Oklahoma. And so, it's not recreational here, but I go back to the old, like, Cheech and Chong kind of jokes of like, I'd rather be illegal so that way, I kind of trust my dealer or whatever versus like trusting the government at this point. And then on top of that, like Oklahoma, Hawaii, a couple other states, like even though Trump might be doing this now, it's not a defense on him. I'm saying this has been a long time coming because they were using this weird little gray area in their laws to where you could be a legal gun owner. But if you went and got your marijuana license, like, you know what I mean? Like you went and got your card, then that's the same as like certain prescription drugs. So then you could have known. So there were certain states that actually had this weird area to where it's like, do you really want to go get your marijuana card or you want to just buy it illegally so you can still legally own your guns? Now it seems like Trump's kind of on that idea of like, well, he was probably high when he shot his gun. And you're like, meanwhile, like you alluded to, you go take a piss test. If you smoked a joint 3 weeks ago and haven't took a hit since, you might piss dirty and you're going to fucking jail for 50 years.
Dude, and what are we talking about? Like, who is getting high and going to commit a crime?
Exactly.
Like,
I mean,
that's cokehead, crackhead shit.
Right. I'm about to say most people that are committing crimes like robbing a liquor store or whatever, they're not sober. Let's be honest, but they're usually not high on weed either.
And if it is weed, it's not just weed.
Right.
There's
some
usually
PCP, some
alcohol.
fentanyl, some whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, it's usually like maybe a little cocaine to work up the courage to go to the drugstore or something like that. I'm sorry, weed does not give you courage to reach into your pocket and drive to the fucking gas station and hold it up to the clerk over there. Like,
no, it makes you go, dude, that sounds like way too much work right now.
exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
That's insane, dude. I mean, granted, here in Louisiana, it's constitutional carry, so I'm carrying at all times, regardless of what I have in my system. So, like, we're straight on that point. But, oh my God, they're
Well,
trying
it's
to make it
constitutional
federal.
carry in Oklahoma too, so I'm the same way. But it's that's why I never went and got my weed card either, because I'm like, these motherfuckers. I've known this for like 2 or 3 years now. I'm like, there's certain states that don't follow. Like, you basically either have your weed or you can have your gun. And I'm like, I'll have my gun and I'll still smoke my weed, and I'm not going to tell you about the fucking weed then. Like,
Right. 100%. And I mean, I honestly don't even smoke weed because it gives me horrible anxiety. I used to, but like I can't fuck with it no more. I don't know when my body made the swap,
mm,
but dude, I don't have anxiety issues. Ever have I suffered in my life with this kind of thing? One hit off of a J, dude, 30 minutes and I'm over there just like spine gripping anxiety. So like I'm not worried about that for myself, but I'm also really against the infringing on the freedoms of everybody else. Weed should not be illegal. Let's just get that out of the way now. There's no reason why that should be classified under any of those things. But again, I can't even name one time where I've met somebody that was getting high and wanted to go and fuck someone up. Yeah, they might going to the gun range or something like that, which, okay, I'm not saying that you should do that high as fuck. Same way you shouldn't be going to the gun range drunk. Like, I get it. But
right,
like,
right.
you're on your private land and you and the boys are crushing some brewskis and you shooting your new guns into a berm and it's just, redneck shit.
Yeah.
Okay, who the fuck am I to tell you that's a bad idea for gun safety purposes, but it's also your land and I'm not your dad.
Couple
You know what I'm saying?
baps on your AK, it's all good. No.
Right. Same with weed. Like, yo, if you and the boys are toking it down, you're like, bro, just got a new drum mag for the AK. Let's go shoot it, dude.
Fuck
That sounds like a
yeah.
good time. Like, okay, keep it safe, but also, like, bro, what the fuck?
It
Now
just
you could get
seems
50
like
years for this?
it seems like a boomer mentality, doesn't it? Though, like, and
It
I'm not
does.
one to come down on the boomer generation. I mean, whatever.
am.
I mean, that's I, I don't know. Say what you want about the boomers, but this is kind of fucking boomer mentality to where it's like drugs. You mean weed? It's like, dude, those two words don't even belong in the same sentence.
Yes,
Right.
Boomer, we're talking about you who in the 70s were so high through most of high school. Yeah, we're talking about you.
No
Clearly.
shit. Good point. Yeah, good point.
Yeah,
It's
so
insane.
weird.
Daisy
They're the
confused
ones
anybody?
that, yeah, no shit. They're the ones that, like, okay, fucking Tripoli's homeboy Tino Sanchez. I've had him on my podcast a couple times. And, like, that's one of his favorite things he likes to rant about is like Rage Against the Machine turned into Rage for the Machine. It's like that's the idea of, like, I'm not saying Rage Against the Machine or boomers, but it's the idea of like the hypocrisy of boomers that were like, man, fuck the war in Vietnam. Let's smoke our weed and do our LSD. And then meanwhile, like Toby Keith said, we got to go blow up brown people though, after he wrote that fucking song. So it's like, okay. And then here we are. Like, it's like, okay, when you're young, you got all these ideas of like, the world is this. And then you get older and your conservatism kicks in, or you're just kind of retarded boomerness kicks in, I guess. But
Dude,
you
you're
forget
right
that
about
you're a
Rage.
hypocrite. You know what I mean? Like, you forget that you end up turning into the thing that you raged against.
You're right about Rage, dude. They are like devout communists. And they're talking about raging against the machine. And it's like, you understand communism would fuck your entire life up based off of just what your music is talking about. You have to like ride the government's dick in communism. So that's like real cool star, hammer, and sickle pin you got on your hat there, buddy. But okay, sure. Whatever. It's insane. And the same group, you're right, in communism, keep in mind, Brittany Griner got arrested and like almost life in prison for having a weed pen in her bag.
Yeah.
And Russia's not even communist anymore. But these people are like, they're smoking their weed and they want to say that communism is a greater system of government as they're on their iPhone and eating at a McDonald's. And it's like, I don't think you understand the hypocrisy of how your life requires capitalism, but you're screaming about communism. It's mind blowing.
You know what, though? I do want to ask both of you what you guys think about what's going on in the porn world right now. I don't personally know a little
I'm
bit.
afraid of what you're about to ask. What the fuck is about to
I
be
don't
asked?
work in it anymore, dude. It's been a couple years now, but I'm kidding.
No, but you have to give your ID in order to go on the sites now.
Oh,
Dude,
I'm
I've
good
heard
with
about that shit. What? No, hell no. That's so weird. Like,
Yeah, that's
Because
all
then-
of them. It's not just one or two of them. It started out as just Pornhub because Pornhub was the big one, right?
uh-huh.
Literally all of them are requiring it now. I'm like, dude, that seems real sketchy. Like, there's no
So-
way I'm putting my fucking not that
It's
I want-
already a data collection thing if you think anyways. Now we have your literal like your actual ID. You know, that's
Yeah.
weird.
Here, it seems here, Mr. Mook, that you visited Pornhub. What was it, 17 times on Monday, sir? And
Uh,
midget porn? Is that what Is that what you're into? You sick fuck? Do you want your family to know about this, Jacob? Is that what you want? And then you start getting doxxed, and I think it's just another fucking control technique, personally. Now, I will say that they say it's because too many, under 18 kids are watching it, and so that's what they're saying.
I
But
mean, there's truth because there's too many kids that have cell phones too young. But yeah, continue.
yeah. I
that's
mean,
I think that's surface level shit though. Like I
I
don't
think
think that that's the entire reason they're shutting it down.
No,
it's
yeah.
it's not. All right, so two sides to this. One, it's absolutely being used to collect data on individuals, and now it's being linked to your driver's license, right? And I'm not exactly happy about that. But can we also acknowledge the fact that if you have a Wi-Fi router that you're using, they already know what your phone's IP address is looking up and who you're texting and for what purpose and what website you're going to and how long you've been on this. The government knows what your algorithm is showing you, regardless of whether you had to put your ID in or not. So like the whole thing to say that they're using your driver's license to track you, they can track you without your driver's license, first off. Second off, you realize this is also like the smallest barrier to entry that they could have made. I'm seeing people like lose their mind, like, well, I don't want to put my ID to watch porn. It's like it's like asking the very smallest ask of you to do to make sure you're not a kid.
I mean, you do make a good point. Like if it was 20 years ago and you go, to the nasty fucking whatever 7-Eleven gas station, you go to buy the magazine off the rack in a weird way, like devil's advocate, they're gonna ID you as you're buying that magazine. I mean,
Yeah, but
so
they
I
didn't
get
take
what
a
you're kind of saying, but yeah,
they
yeah.
didn't take a fucking flash copy of it. though.
100%. Yeah, that guy
Fair.
didn't just save it into his file for the next 100 years. Yes.
Right. Now it's uploaded to the internet. Well, and specifically to those servers for
Yeah.
however long. I'm not even worried. I'm not even saying that's a government thing. I mean, it very well could be, but like
It's
I'm
just a
saying,
business thing.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I don't want fucking Pornhub or, X videos or whatever having my fucking information about where I live. I'm sorry. That's just
They already do, but they already do. That's
How
the
do
thing.
they
Without
have
your, how do they have?
Because
it?
your phone's
that's
already
how the internet
location
works.
wise. Yes, exactly. Yeah.
As soon as, why is it, Jonathan, that YouTube was watching our IP addresses when I was at your house and we got kicked off of YouTube in 2020? I couldn't even go to your house and get on my phone on my YouTube and like a video because we got kicked off of them so hard. They were tracking the IP to your Wi-Fi router.
Jacob,
Because YouTube does that. The internet does this already, dude.
tell me you're not saying what I think you're saying, sir. Are you like
I
trying
don't know what
to,
you think I'm
Are
saying.
you trying to talk yourself out of this because you already uploaded your ID to one of these?
Oh,
websites?
no. No, I have never done that, actually. I know that what you're talking about, though, but no, I don't watch porn anymore. I did for a long time. I don't anymore. I think it actually deteriorates your brain, and I think it's way more addictive than what our human minds can, like, actually perceive.
No,
That being said,
I agree. Like I'm like, if anything, I think that it's a good sign that we shouldn't be watching it. You know what I
Agreed.
mean? Because it's not good for you. And you think about the level of fucking the people that aren't even making babies anymore and stuff like that. And so maybe that's a reason. I just think that it's kind of strange that it's happening now.
it's led to incel culture going on the rise, right? But
Here's the
that's
irony is like not to like just go shit on Jews kind of conversation mode to take a hard right on this shit or whatever, but like the idea that they're gonna, and I'm not defending going and watching porn. I'm like, I don't know, dude. That's libertarian in me. It's like, as long as you're not hurting me, I don't give a fuck what you're jerking off to. I don't care. That's not
Sure.
my problem. That's your own fucking weird thing in your head.
as
But
long as it's consenting adults.
yeah, exactly, 100%.
Yeah.
But then you got Rabbi Shmuley, who's over here like selling dildos and butt plugs with his daughter and shit, and then he's up the ass of all of our fucking Republican politicians and podcasters and shit. And you're like, so wait a minute, it's okay for like some of these other motherfuckers to own porn companies and to do this and to do that, and then like I said, plays devil's advocate, some random ass 25-year-old kid that wants to just go fucking let one loose. Now he has to upload his ID. Meanwhile, you can go buy Rabbi Shmuley's butt plug. You're like,
Right.
where's the fucking consistency in this? You
Rabbi
know,
Shmuley
this-
is one of the most repulsive individuals
of
I've
course.
seen and heard speak.
But that being said, right? So we had at one point in time a deal with AdamandEve.com, right? And use the promo
Right.
code
Okay.
and you get
Yeah.
the stuff. And they would send you 10 free movies. Do you think Adam and Eve was checking your driver's license?
No, no, I don't think.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's strictly for internet purposes, right? To get the fucking dumpster porn, the DVD collections and all that shit, or the flash drives, they're not IDing you for that. Now, yeah, if you were to go to a sex shop, to an actual like brick and mortar location and you're trying to buy one, they would ID you. But that's my point. It's like the smallest barrier for entry that the government could even come up with. That being said, I do agree that they are probably using this in a further way to track you and what you're doing.
Yeah.
But again, I feel like they're already doing that on the internet anyway.
Well, true. I think it's just like
think they
Epstein,
are.
like they're Epsteining all of us at this point, almost. It's like they're just tracking all of our data, whatever it is, whether you're into crypto, whether you're into porno, whether you're into whatever, or any euphemism, whatever. It's like they're gonna just take that and exploit it, and that's what algorithms really are good at. But I think like nefarious parties are going to start using our algorithms against us, turning into a
Yeah.
government thing, and then we start turning into like a class system. We get into the China shit and stuff like that, to where, well, sir, you wanted to go buy this cheeseburger at Walmart or McDonald's today, but you didn't walk your 2 mile minimum because you're 400
Yeah.
pounds. Like
A good. I think that that's a good point, because we could be talking about this is one of the first steps of the social credit system.
yeah,
And plus, if you're just wanting to watch porn, just use a VPN and like put your address to Canada. Like there's ways around this. This isn't rocket science. You know what I mean?
go get your grandpa's Playboy with the big ass bush. No, I'm kidding.
Dude,
Go old
you ain't
school.
lying.
Take it
Those-
old school, man.
Those 70s and 80s Playboy spreads were impressive. You ever seen Demi Moore's Playboy spread?
No, I've seen her make out with a teenage kid before, but no, I've never seen her Playboy.
If you look up Demi Moore's centerfold piece, her vagina bush was impressive. Like 1970s disco fro
Nice.
going on. It was a whole vibe apparently for a day and age. Yeah. Are you looking it up right now?
No,
I thought you were about to.
Nah.
I was like, dude,
would never do such a thing. How dare
Your
you?
sunglasses are lying.
Disclaimer
Damn.
for anybody on Patreon who wants to see what we just looked up. Actually, we haven't given the plug. For anybody that would like to see Demi Moore's centerfold spread rather than looking it up on your own because they're tracking you, and you would like to see what we just saw on our cameras, Jonathan, where can they go?
The Rabbi Shmuley plug, I guess, is what we're calling it now.
Ew, a butt plug, dog?
Yeah, come on down to patreon.com/cult of conspiracy podcast. That's the best place to be able to support the show. We appreciate all of the lovely degenerates that listen to this show. We're not judging you. We're also degenerates as well. It's just in our nature. But if you enjoy these kind of conversations, and you want to be able to get more of it, then go over to Patreon. We have a bunch of crazy, awesome things that are going on over there. You'll be able to get the shows a couple of days in advance. It's the only place where you'll be able to see any of the video. You can see the video clips over on Instagram and TikTok and stuff like that. But if you want the full access to be able to watch all of it, it's right there. You won't have to wait days. I mean, we do multiple shows a day, so it's always going up. It's always like we're always deep diving into the darkest parts of the rabbit hole. So go over there and check it out. But the main reason why most people join is because it is completely
commercial-free listening, y'all.
Yeah, dude. So come on, check it out. Kick them nasty ads and come join us over at Patreon. Also, we have a couple of awesome things that are going on over there. You can sign up for a free week and then just cancel on the 6th day. You're never charged anything. It's pretty badass. We also have, if you sign up for an entire year, you get 3 months off. So, and there's a bunch of different tiers. We have a $5 tier. $5 per month is kind of crazy, especially in this economy. And then we have a $10 tier, which gives you that third eye all the way open tier. So you get all of that. Plus you'll be able to join us every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Central for the Cult Member Live Show, which are, the definition of unhinged. There's nothing crazier. What the fuck are you doing on a Tuesday night anyway? Dude, come and hang out with everybody else that has that third eye all the way open. It's a good time.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Now that the shameless plug is out of the way, I wanted to ask both of you now. I know, Jonathan, you don't really keep up with like the current events of what's going on around the world. You do, but it's not like your jam. You know what I mean? There's a level that you do, but then the level that you don't really care about. Respect.
I actively try to steer away from it personally.
No doubt.
Sometimes
Derek,
it's unavoidable.
It's loose
I get
jacking,
it.
but yes, I keep up. Where are you going?
All right, so have you heard about the Russian bomb that they are like screaming about as like the latest and greatest in technology?
Actually, tell me about it.
All right, so backstory to this. We all know that it's not a nuclear weapon, although, yes, it can be nuclear capable. The payload on it can be of a nuclear
Mm-hmm.
type, but its propulsion system is a nuclear reactor. And Putin is losing his shit, saying that, like, see, Russia's so far ahead of everybody. We have developed things that no one else on Earth has. We are so badass. Bop, bop, bop. And the problem with that is America had that in like 59 and we shut down the program in 61. It was called Project Pluto for anybody who wants to look that up. And essentially we stopped using it because it's really fucking dumb. Like, yeah, you could use a nuclear reactor to power whatever and use it as an exhaust for rocketry. But if that missile is ever intercepted, then you basically just create a dirty bomb.
Yeah. Okay. I see where you're going. Yeah.
And so Russia, all I'm seeing on the news right now is that they're losing their mind over Russia's new nuclear capable missile that's going to allegedly destroy the world and it can loiter for so long and all of this shit. And it's like, congratulations, Russia, at the absolute peak of your technology and wartime economy and all of these things. You have now caught up to what we had already phased out 70 years ago. Good job. You know what I mean? I know if y'all heard about it.
I don't want to defend Russia, but like, Russia is kind of a big proponent of propaganda. Like, are they possibly, I'm just thinking outside the box, but like, could this possibly just be something that sounds maybe so stupid for them to do to where they're like, laughs in vodka and they're doing something else meanwhile? You know what I mean? Like,
Could
I'm
be.
with you because like, yeah, why, what doesn't really make any sense if it's like kind of old school technology that wasn't really worth using in the first place? Why would decades later be like some Borat shit like, look what I discovered, like, no, you didn't fucking,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, what's the point of it now? So I don't know, man. What are your thoughts on it?
I don't think it's propaganda. I could see where you're going from with this, absolutely. But the fact that they successfully test fired it, and the fact that they are saying like they're giving stats as far as how long it can fly and how long it would take to get from point A to point B. Also, it's slower than fuck. Like it's basically the same speed as like a prop-driven Cessna, and
That's what makes
they're
me
touting
wonder.
it.
Yeah, because Russia
Yeah,
is like they always want to tout themselves as like the big bad guy, and then we use our own government to tout Russia as the big bad guy. So we always have that Soviet argument kind of thing. So it's like, why would that be what they roll out? I don't know. Like I have more questions than answers. I don't know.
they're correct in that no one else on Earth currently has a weapon like this, and that's their thing. It's kind of like it's them trying to flex. But again, we already had that and phased it out in 61 because we realized that there is way more effective ways of delivering an explosive payload than using a nuclear reactor. But it's cool in a certain sense, but it's also them trying to beat their chest for any reason right now because this
Hmm.
special 2 week military operation is about to come upon year 4. And they don't really have a lot of things that they can beat their chest and be proud of at this moment. So it's, and then I just saw this old thing too. Apparently, Russia just launched a big another big offensive, and Ukraine started dropping bombs on them in retaliation. It's that war is not getting closed down anytime soon. I'm thinking that possibly the announcement that this missile is a thing was them trying to scare the world into submission or scare Ukraine into a more favorable deal for Russia to come to the negotiation table or something. But at the same time, that's not happening. And I don't think it's gonna because I feel like the military industrial complex of multiple nations, not just America, multiple nations really just want that war to keep going. They're making
I'm
Monet off of
you're
that.
I'm thinking the exact same thing. Like I started just got a picture in my head. I'm like, what if all these factions that are supposed to be these enemies, back to our WWE references earlier, and kayfabe and shit like that, and the heel and the baby face and the whatever. Like, what if all these motherfuckers are just doing this on purpose, and they're all in on it, and it's like they're asking for us to keep like, what if the UN, what if all these things aren't really what they say they are? Like, what if we're just hyping up fear and anger across the world, whether it's flat, whether it's round, whether it's hexagon, whether it's whatever. But we're manufacturing and harvesting all the energy of all the people around the world because we can't stop talking about Russia and Ukraine. We can't stop talking about Israel and Palestine. We can't stop talking about, for 20 plus years, we can't stop talking about America and Iraq. We can't, like, I don't know. Like, I think they're just trying to suck our fears. Like, whether it's true or not, the black pill in me at this point is getting to the point of like, I don't know. Who fucking cares? These motherfuckers got so many nukes at this point that, like, if they just dropped them all, which they're probably gonna have a big dick contest anyways at some point anyways, maybe the Earth will survive, maybe we won't. But it's like, I don't know, man. Like, I just feel like we're coming up to the inevitable of like they're just gonna keep poking and prodding the bear, whether it's Russia, China, America, Iran, this, that, Israel, Palestine. We're just getting ourselves closer and closer to our big bang of our generation, which is gonna be, like nuclear big bang.
I
Dude,
still don't
at
think the
this
nukes are
point,
going to be dropped though, because it's like if one gets dropped, all of them get dropped, and then we're all dead. It's kind of like the mad scientist that sucks in all the meteors to destroy the world as like a plan, and then
Yeah.
kind of realize way too late that, oh shit, I'm gonna die with everybody.
But what
And
about
like,
Israel with the Samson agreement or whatever it's called? The Samson, whatever, you know what I mean? It's like we're just
yeah,
gonna hit abort and just hit every fucking nuke all at once. And I'm not like I said, whatever. Israel and Jews are a completely different thing. You can
right.
love America and hate your American government, but I'm just saying, like, when the government of Israel's like, hey, if we get backed into a corner, we're just gonna hit all our buttons at once. You're like, oh shit, I don't know if that's a good solution either.
But like you
Same with
said, you follow
Russia,
the money.
America. Yeah, follow
Following
the
the
money.
money, I think, is the main source on this one, because Boeing just sold, or at least signed contracts for another 296 F-35s to be sold to multiple countries, right? Heckler
Mm.
and Koch, a German gun manufacturer, is getting big orders right now. All these countries are arming up and gearing up, and I think they're trying to use Russia, like you said, as like a fear tactic to make everybody buy more shit. Nuclear bombs don't sell shit. Wars, however, that sells shit. So I think that might be the reason behind it all. And it's like, yeah, they could probably force Russia to capitulate right now. Like,
Mm.
realistically, I'm not saying Donnie T. I'm saying the world could basically say, all right, Putin, we've had enough of your fucking shit. We're over it. The war's over now. Here's how it's going to go. And they could probably get their way with it. But multiple countries' military industrial complexes would not be getting these massive contracts for new weapons if they just signed off on the war right now. So I feel like as long as they keep that fueled and keep the energy of fear alive and well within different political scopes from different countries, the war machine keeps just printing out the money. I think that's where it's going, honestly.
Man, I think they're just trying to like, I don't know, just scam up all of us, whether it's all these different ideas, whether it's your neighbor is the enemy, this other country you've never been to is the enemy, this other place that like this other time zone, this other skin color, this other whatever. Like, it's getting to where I don't know, dude. The world is kind of fake and fucking gay, and it's like, how do we're living in like, the Chicken Little kind of situation or something almost. It's like even if the nukes are going to be falling, nobody's going to believe it because of the lies that came before it. So here we are now, like we got AI, we got everything else. Like, Vietnam, we saw videos and people changed their ideas about what war was because we saw firsthand videos. Now we see AI videos that, I mean, remember the Ghost of Kiev and shit like that. People were
Yeah.
watching video game footage and they thought it was real. Now we're a couple years later and we're in like Sora and whatever, these different AI videos. I think people are just becoming weirdly desensitized and too sensitized at the same time. Like there's two classes of people. Like there's almost like some are just checking out of like whatever. If the bombs drop, they drop. Like what can we do about it? The Nile, the just black pill side. And then there's the super pay too much attention side. I don't know, man. Like I don't know. What are you guys' thoughts? Like where does all these wars go? Where do
I think they're preparing for something big, and I'll tell you why with this article right here that was literally just put out like 3 weeks ago, not even, where it is a BBC article. It says tech billionaires seem to be doom prepping. Should we all be worried? And it goes on to say that all of the world's billionaires have been investing in buying underground bunkers. They're all doing it around the same time. I mean, Mark Zuckerberg's one, Bill Gates is one. All of these very in the know type of people are investing and buying in underground bunkers, and they have cheaper ones. I think you can buy like a cheaper one. I mean, cheap with quotations is still 200 grand.
Mhm.
But they have like ones that are millions of dollars, right?
Yeah.
And the one that this is just to read a little bit of this. Um, it says it is said to okay, Mark Zuckerberg is said to have started work on Kulau Ranch, his sprawling 1,400-acre compound on the Hawaiian island of Kauai, as far back as 2014. It is set to include a shelter complete with its own energy and food supplies, though the carpenters and electricians working on the site were banned from talking about it by non-disclosure agreements. He made them sign NDAs for building it back in 2014. It says a 6-foot wall blocked the project from view of a nearby road, and asked last year if he was creating a doomsday bunker, the Facebook founder gave a flat out no. The underground space, spanning some 5,000 square feet, is, he explained, just a little shelter, or just like a little shelter. It's like a basement. But you make
Totally.
sign all these NDAs, but you're building a fucking underground bunker, bro. Come on. It says that hasn't stopped the speculation, likewise, about his decision to buy 11 properties in the Crescent Park neighborhood of Palo Alto, California, apparently adding a 7,000 square foot underground space beneath. Oh boy, yeah, he's preparing, and he's not the only one. But and then there's other ones. Reid Hoffman, the co-founder of LinkedIn, has talked about apocalypse insurance. This is something about half of the super wealthy have. He has previously claimed with New Zealand a popular destination for homes, which is
Okay, wait. If an apocalypse happens, your money is going to be absolutely worthless. So even if you paid into apocalypse insurance and when that time comes, you're going to get a massive $2 billion payout. Yo, what stores are you going to spend that at, you dumb fuck?
I think the insurance is the bunker.
Okay, that's what it is. The insurance policy is that you have a slot in the bunker.
I think so. In the last few years, the advancement of AI has only added to the list of potential existential woes. Many are deeply worried at the sheer speed of the progression. Ilya Sutskever, chief scientist and co-founder of OpenAI, is reported to be one of them. By mid-2023, the San Francisco-based firm had released ChatGPT, the chatbot now used by hundreds of millions of people across the world, and they were working fast on updates. But by that summer, Sutskever was becoming increasingly convinced that computer scientists were on the brink of developing artificial general intelligence, or AGI, the point at which machines match human intelligence, according to a book by journalist Karen Howell. In a meeting, Mr. Sutskever suggested to colleagues that they should dig an underground shelter for the company's top scientists before such a powerful technology was released to the world.
Dun, 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 dun. Terminator 2 theme, dude.
The creators of OpenAI are building fucking bunkers because they're scared of AI. That's crazy.
Let that fucking marinade. For the love of God, out loud. You just said that, right?
No, that was an aberration, sir.
Oh my God.
Dude,
it
the
says
robots are taking over.
They fucking are.
It says we're definitely going to build a bunker before we release AGI. Holy shit. And it says he's widely reported to have said, though it's unclear who he meant by we. It sheds light on a strange fact that many leading computer scientists and tech leaders, some of whom are working hard to develop a hugely intelligent form of AI, also seem deeply afraid of what it could one day do. So when exactly, if ever, will AGI arrive? And could it really prove transformational enough to make ordinary people afraid? So what the fuck, man? That's kind of strange. AGI is what we should be worried about.
Well, it's almost a little revelation of the method kind of thing. Like they're almost showing their hand at the same time because they're telling you what the downsides. It's no different than a fucking a medicine commercial, like where you're like, hey, you got a headache? You got boner problems? Take this pill. By the way, you might have suicidal thoughts and rectal bleeding. And I'm like, I'll deal with the headache and the boner problems. It's like, if this is what these same people are like pushing into reality and they're scared of it at the same time, you're like, ugh, like you might want to gonna take their own words and.
It's weird, dude. It really is strange about how the people that are creating it, are buying bunkers.
That
Man,
should be
that
a
is
massive lesson to the world, please. If you're using AI to make your pictures a little more, okay, fine, cool. If you're using AI for a tool, right, to kind of like help you do some research on some things,
Mhm.
quick fact checking of things, okay, fine. But understand AI is wrong a lot. More often than it's right, it's actually incorrect. And you could do that with actual fact checking research. But the people that are using AI as their new form of information gathering and their new form of like actual intelligence, they're part of the problem and they're part of the reason why the Asians are winning right now. That's all I'm saying.
I don't know about that.
I do.
I mean, no, I don't
The
know.
creators are buying bunkers, bro. I don't know how. I can't even imagine a better scenario to like display my point.
Look,
It's
the
a
thing
Frankenstein,
is,
Dr. Frankenstein situation. They're afraid of the own thing they've created, basically.
Yes.
look, I think that
And
I
that should
don't
scare
know.
people.
AI is meant for a lot of things, but I think what they're saying is that eventually it's going to get to that point where it becomes smarter than humans. And so you talking all this shit, it's going to be going out into the algorithms. AI is going to specifically be looking for you, sir, and it's going to take you out first because you talk the most amount of shit about it. So you better start saying thank you to your chat GPT. I know you don't use it, but you do. I mean, look, if you're on fucking Safari, you're on DuckDuckGo, you're on Google Chrome, you're every time you type something in that search engine, AI is doing research too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's an AI pop up and then there's web browser pop ups. You
Yeah.
scroll through the AI, don't acknowledge that, and then do actual research. That's how that
You're
goes.
still feeding it into the AI algorithm, is my point.
Yeah,
And then
exactly.
they got countries like Albania. They just selected, not even elected, they selected an AI overlord to be their minister of procurement. They actually have a government official that's just an AI chatbot right now in Albania. It's going to take
Yes.
over, dude.
That's nuts. Well, here's another funny thing that, like, okay, I'm with both of you guys. Like, I don't agree with AI, but I will say you get in the rabbit hole of going on YouTube and looking up like AI versions of old songs that are like rap songs that are now rock songs or vice versa or whatever kind
Yeah.
of shit. And so, dude, I found
Or
one
the Yeti
yesterday.
videos. I
I
like the
found one
AI Yeti
yesterday.
videos
I
on YouTube.
can't,
They're
I've
cool.
listened to it like 10 times now. It's I'll send it to you motherfuckers because it's fucking hilarious. But it's Many Men by 50
Yes.
Cent, but it's this like 80s hard rock, like almost White Snake version with like
Oh.
3-part, 4-part Def Leppard harmonies, guitar solo and shit. You're like, what the fuck? I can't stop listening to it.
Oh,
But
dude,
the
I
rest of
heard the
me is like,
Motown version. I haven't heard
yes,
the
the
80s rock
Motown. That's the
version.
one. The Motown version's awesome. I'll send it to you guys, dude. It's awesome.
Fuck
They're
yeah.
like, you're like fist pumping in the air, like this is badass. This is 50 Cent. But my point is like we're getting to the point of like the musician in me is like, well, everybody's been using auto tune for decades and click tracks at this point. Whatever. Click tracks are fine. You're staying on tempo with the song you're playing. You're not drunk or coked out, and you're going up and down in tempo. But what I'm getting at is with the idea of AI, all of these things we can't distinguish reality anymore. Like, I'm not
Right.
going to be able to write a song as good as what AI is about to do nowadays. AI is taking songs that are already good and making them better as
Bro,
well. And it's like, what is happening to our world right now? What is reality?
so I don't know what song it's called. I wish I could remember. It's like they basically took 4 very popular rap songs and they spliced them together to make a new song. And these kids are like bumping this shit like it's the latest and greatest thing. Meanwhile, it's like, wait a minute. I remember when that song came out in like the early 2000s. Wait a second. It just swapped over. Wait, that song came out in like 2012. What the fuck is this? And it's like these kids are acting like it's the latest and greatest. They have no idea that it's actually spliced and clipped from older songs. That is about to be what the music industry is doing because nothing new is there under the sun.
Musicians
that
about to be
was- that was-
obsolete.
That was already happening though. There's a lot of songs that like literally made certain bands, singers and all that kind of stuff, made them popular because they just remade it in their way. So
That's
it's been
different.
happening for forever.
Well, but for sure,
That's
I'm with
different.
you, Jonathan. I'm with you on that. But like I said, that musician in me is like now you can literally just say like type in the right prompt and say I want a song 50 style of this blah blah blah, and you just put in the right sentence. You don't ever have to touch a chord, a note, a nothing whatsoever. Boom, you got a 3.5 minute song.
Right. That's different
That's
than Johnny
weird.
Cash remaking Hurt.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
That's
Exactly.
different than Alien Ant Farm remaking And Are You Okay? We're having two different conversations with this.
Because
Sampling
somebody
another
puts a
artist's
spin
work.
on it or do their own little thing on it. Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Is the AI spin of it? I don't know how it's different though.
Wait, no. One
'Cause it's
actually
in a
took artistry.
Yeah,
One took
one's a
talent.
conglomeration of everything together.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
it's
I mean,
weird.
these I feel like you guys might be the same people that were saying that Britney Spears is not an actual singer because she used all this auto tune. So we're like, I feel like it's the same kind of conversation because that wasn't real music either, right?
Well,
She
but
was
I
still
think
an artist. She still had to
Yeah.
perform it. She still had to dance it out. She still had to shoot the music video. She
Yeah.
actually ran in the industry for a long time. It wasn't an AI thing that you made on your keyboard and boom, you made a top 10 best-selling hit for 3 minutes of work on your laptop. We're having two different conversations.
And my point is like, what's so inherently bad about that?
Where should I begin?
Well, yeah, where should you begin? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like,
I don't know what's necessarily bad about it, but I think it's just a slipping of reality that like people are becoming too complacent with the idea of, and it's like I don't know. Think of 25 years ago when the Sims video game came out. It's like, why live my life when I can play it on a computer?
Thank you.
And it's
That's
the
where-
same kind of idea. It's like, why learn guitar when I can just type in the right sentence and then it makes a song for me? And I can't sing, but I can play guitar. But now I got a singer, a drummer, a guitar player, a keyboard player, a harmony. This, that's kind of the weirdness of it in my
It's
thought.
killing the
already-
creative spirit. It's killing
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
artistry
yeah.
of it. Nobody's going to learn how to play drums. Nobody's going to learn how to play guitar. Nobody's going to learn how to sing. Nobody's actually going to write down their thoughts into poetry that they can then turn into a song. That's going to be gone because AI could do it better. So why would you even do that?
Okay, let me just throw something back at you right now. How many artists are actually using real instruments in recording their music nowadays, even before ChatGPT came around?
There's live concerts that are selling out arenas right now, sir.
that they're lip syncing to.
No. I mean, like,
Well, not
actual
everybody.
musicians.
Yes, I mean, yes and no. You guys are both right. There are, yeah. I mean, there are ones that take advantage of that, and you know what I mean. Like like I said, I still play. I play in an '80s tribute band nowadays called One Night Stand. It's like it's tongue in cheek. We make shitty off color jokes and fucking drink beer and smoke weed and play a bunch of fucking Def Leppard, Poison, Foreigner, and White Snake and shit. But my point is like we're actually standing there playing the instruments. We're actually singing the harmonies, the 3-part, 4-part harmonies in the song. We have an actual keyboard player that actually plays keyboard and he's not a fucking actual an AI track or something like that. It's so there is a point where it's like, okay, when I have 5 guys in my band, why do the extra work of getting everybody together when I can just be one guy, type in a few sentences correctly on an AI chat prompt, and then now I can make a song with 4 minus people in the room. It's like so.
I think it's just a genre, though.
It
Like,
is.
I don't
It
think
is.
like,
It is. It's a
AI is not going
change.
to be selling out concerts. It's not going to be going
Right.
on tours. It's not going to be selling crazy records. I
Right.
mean, that is still going to be happening. Nobody's going to show up to a concert where it's like, meet AI or DJ AI Big Dick. You know,
Yeah,
it's
no
not
shit,
gonna
no
be
shit.
like
Yeah,
that.
good for
You've
it.
never been to a rave, obviously. It's just one dude with a soundboard and an iPod. So, like, whatever you say, there's people
Well-
that show up for that.
And still one dude. My point is that everything that everybody is scared about with AI, you shouldn't be scared of AI. You should be scared of the people that have access to AI. The scared of the people that are pulling the strings and programming AI. That's who we should be holding accountable. AI is a fucking program. It is.
Yes.
But it's self-learning.
Okay, you know what? I want to say something real quick.
self-learning.
Like
That's
a
why
week,
they're building bunkers.
week and a half,
No,
2 weeks
it-
ago,
it's
we lost Ace
trying to
Frehley
get
from
to that
Kiss.
AGI.
And who cares about Kiss if you don't like Kiss, whatever. But Ace Frehley from Kiss had one of the greatest quotes of all time about like being a 70s rock god guitar player or whatever for guitar solos and shit. I'm saying his one of his most famous quotes was, if I knew so many people were going to be inspired by me, I would have practiced more. But that's kind of the fun part about Ace Frehley as a musician 50 years ago, was that even with his imperfections as a guitar player, it still inspired 300,000 kids to go pick up a guitar. Because even though he was hitting wrong notes, it was still rock and roll. Now we're building it into this perfectionism of AI to where it really brings the question of like, is rock like we've been doing this for decades, even before the AI, like with everything being recorded to a click track and things like that. Led Zeppelin wasn't recorded with a click track. Like, you know what I'm saying? What that means is basically like click, 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 like that tempo is playing in your ear. There's no ebb and flow, there's no nothing whatsoever. Go put a click track to a Pink Floyd song, it's going to be off. Go put a click track to a Led Zeppelin song, it's going to be off. There's something kind of just ethereal. There was something kind of real about those songs. Now everything is so, desensitized. It's to a click. It's to consumerism in a weird way. And it's like, it's taking all of its realness away. So I understand 1,000% with both you guys. I'm playing devil's advocate right now because I get what both you guys are saying, but
I get it.
there's a
To be
there's a
fair,
weirdness where
though,
we're gonna lose the realness of music over the next decade or two.
to
But then
be
take
fair,
that to the
though,
macro.
AI is going to find out. AI is going to find out whatever grievances, that the people have
Good
about a
point.
version of music, and it's going to correct itself. So then it's going to be a little off tempo. Then it's going to sound like it's a little bit more in a tavern.
Yeah, I
Then
like
it's
that.
going to sound like it's going to correct itself. My point is that it's
You
fucking
just said
the
it's not
way it,
self-learning, and yet it is though.
it will be. That's what AGI is coming. It's not here yet.
Mm.
So that's what I'm trying to say is that it's just the fucking way of the future. It's like the people that were scared of the internet. It's like the people that were scared of these
Cars.
silly things. These silly things. Yeah.
Cars from
buy
horses.
a
Yeah,
car. I'm too
exactly.
loyal to my horse kind of shit. Like this is what it sounds like.
I don't know, man. And again, we're just looking at the music industry, and that's one thing that is an art form, right? And fine, it's something that there's going to be a group of people out there that say that, like, listen, you don't require music made by human beings to live a healthy life. I might disagree with that for my own reasons, but you need food, you need water, you need shelter. You don't require guitar music to live a healthy life as a human being. So, like, fine, music is kind of a microcosm on the AI spectrum. But let's go ahead and take that into account with, like, what's the risk of having AI do what humans have done for forever and what could go wrong with that. Let's talk about how many jobs are about to be taken over by AI. Okay, and I'm talking about not just the little menial tasks that can't, like a cashier that can be done with self-checkout kind of thing, not that kind of job. How many engineers are about to lose their job because there's an AI program that could do their job for no pay whatsoever, and it's the exact same job at the end of the day? Right. So then there's going to be no incentive to inspire creativity. There's going to be no incentive for humans to actually, like, do what they want to do for a career path, because why would you try? AI is going to do it better anyway.
Here's, I'll give you an ironic thing about this whole thing. We're so worried about, there's not going to be any jobs left and people aren't going to be creative. And it's all about just really feeding the fucking capitalist system. That's what everybody's so worried about. Like, it's going to be taking away money. It's going to be taking away jobs. It's like, if you actually got to understand AI a little bit, maybe you could use it to your advantage. What if AI could figure out a way to fucking, I don't know, filter your water, help you go live off grid, help you, like, there's a bunch of different things that you can actually put AI to use for. I mean, AI is not just a fucking chatbot. I mean, it is being used in thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of different ways in order to, so you don't have to do the work. It's going to do it for you. What if you used it to your advantage? It's
using
like,
AI to live off grid. That sounds like using heroin to get clean. I don't think that makes sense out loud, brother.
Well, what are the fucking Tesla satellites? That's not like a real thing that you can just tap into if you're.
Are you talking about Starlink?
Yeah.
Starlink is being ran by AI now? Actually, out loud, I'm sure it is.
Starlink is something that people are using for living off grid. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it, to be honest.
I'm just saying, if you wanted to get out of the system but you still wanted access to the internet, even if it's only so AI can continue to run whatever program you needed to run. I'm saying, AI is always looked at in a fearful way. What if we didn't look at it like that? What if instead of being scared of something, you figured out how to use it to your advantage because it's not going away?
Jonathan, the creators of AI are buying and building bunkers to hide from AI.
Yeah.
If for no other reason, why are people so afraid of it? Ask the creators why they're scared of it. I cannot find a better representation of the point.
And here's the deal. I'm the one that pulled up that website. So I'm saying
I know.
that with
Yeah.
that in mind. Okay. What I'm saying is that AI is like fucking Thanos. It's inevitable. It's going to happen.
Nah.
What are you going? How is it not going to happen?
Because you just could like not use it and continue living your life AI free. That's like totally an option available to you.
I'm with both of you guys, but I think it's also the same idea as like our say government systems and food stamps or whatever kind of handout or whatever. I'm not saying handout in a negative way. I'm just saying some kind of thing that is being given to you. So the fact that you aren't going to use it, like think of for reference in 2020 when the stimulus checks were going out, and a lot of people go, "Well, I don't need the stimulus checks." Well, you know what? They're fucking handing them out anyways. You might as well take the stimulus check. Like it's happening, whether you want it to happen or not. To Jonathan's point, it's happening. So it's like you don't want the $600, you don't want the $1,200. Well, the other guy next door and the other guy next door just got it. So like, I mean, I'm saying fall in line, but I'm also just saying if you didn't stand, like if you stood up against it, it's still gonna happen no matter what happens.
But perfect example. There's a back end of that. Even with the stimulus checks, everybody's like, "Oh, it's free money from the government." No. They're going to take it out of your next year's tax returns. There's back end to it. There's always a bad side to it. Even though it might in the immediate look like it's a good thing, you're going to still get fucked in the end.
I just meant that they were going to fuck you in the end on that anyways. For the most part, like whether you took the money or not, like it was being this. It didn't matter if you were the one out of 1,000 or whatever to stand up. It was still inevitable that it was going to happen. To Jonathan's point, also, and to your point, like I get what both of you guys are saying. So AI is just a tricky ass thing to where it's like, do we allow it? Do we fight it? Is it inevitable? I don't know. You know,
I think Jacob is honestly kind of like a baby boomer in the sense of like he's scared of something until like it becomes regular and normal. A lot like the Amish. The Amish.
I'm New Age Amish.
The Amish looked at electricity like it was the devil. Now all of a sudden they're using power tools. So it's just a matter of time. It's like the idea of, you know, what separates you from being a conspiracy theorist or a blue pill. It's like fucking 6 months, right? It's like eventually you're going to secede. Eventually you're going to give in because it will be the way of the future. Just like, you know, just like the Amish, they eventually gave into electricity. They're eventually going to give into Wi-Fi. I guarantee you there's a sector of fucking Amish people out there that are using AI to their advantage. I guarantee you it exists.
I wouldn't doubt it. That's so fucked up.
I'm New Age Amish. I think that technology, as far as our personal application, stops at the internet. Beyond that, like I'm good. I'm really cool with living in my little my New Age Amish bubble.
But just understand, though, every time you go search something on the internet, it's only supplying more data to the AI systems.
Exactly. You're feeding the machine. Regardless. You're feeding the machine. And then that's like, you know, you get into like somebody that really like, okay, a lot of, you know, hot chicks are always into like serial killers and true crime and whatever. And you're like,
it kills me, dude.
Exactly. It's so crazy. But I'm like, dude, I'm into like Ted Kaczynski. It doesn't mean I agree with Ted Kaczynski. It means like, how did somebody as smart as he was, you guys know Paranoid American, Thomas, right? Oh, yeah. We just did an episode 3 weeks ago talking about Ted Kaczynski. And it's like, dude, the fact that like you can be so smart and then get discredited by kind of one thing. I'm saying everything he pretty much was saying about society and technology was right until he started mailing fucking bombs. You know, and it's like that kind of idea. It's like, where do we go in this society without going in 100% black pill or going into like war in the streets? We know these things are inevitable and they are coming. And I'm not saying go mail bombs in the mail like the Unabomber did. I'm saying, like, isn't it weird that some of these people were trying to, whether it's Ted Kaczynski, Bill Cooper, whether it's whatever, even Bill Hicks to some extent, you know, and then, you know, all these people, like, they were trying to tell us these things that we look back in hindsight and you're like, holy shit, you're right. But the pendulum swung so far at this point that it's like, how can we go back? well, where do we go from here? If we know that this is an inevitable decline with what AI has become in the last 5 years, think of the next 50 years, next 15 years. Where do we go? Like,
Into the
what's
bunkers.
what's real? Exactly, into the fucking bunkers and put your head between your ass, basically.
I guess I
Basically.
I just look at the world in a different way. I try my best not to live in fear. I think that fear ultimately leads to terrible bad decisions, and also it brings upon like crazy levels of anxiety, most of your fears never happen anyway. So my
Right.
point is that, like, for example, just because you are not using AI on your phone does not mean that you're not using AI. Every time in the future, and probably a little bit right now, every time you order something off of Amazon, who do you think took your order? You know,
Guess
like
who doesn't have an
AI.
Amazon account?
It's using you. Yes. Yeah. I know
I
what you
mean,
mean.
literally anything. Your fucking social media
Your
algorithms.
data.
Guess who's
We're
not on
all
social
data.
media?
I mean, and it's coming. Your YouTube. I know you love YouTube. You think fucking AI is not involved on finding out the algorithms of your YouTube? It's
That's how I
all
found the
data.
50 Cent AI songs, man.
all
YouTube.
all social medias, everything with electricity damn near is going to be in the future. I don't know, maybe it's 5 years away, 10 years away, whatever. If it has electricity, it will have AI. And I would even go as far as to say it's going to happen with the fucking dude, your toaster's going to have AI. Like,
Yeah,
and it's
dude.
just going to become normal. It's going to get to a point. People were complaining, oh, well, I prefer the 1970s trucks because they were a lot easier to work on and they didn't have all these computers in them.
Chevy
Yeah,
Square Body. Hell yeah, dude.
Give us
fuck yeah.
10 years into the future. Like right now, everybody has a vehicle with a computer in it.
I
10
know. I
years,
got a 2024 Tacoma, dude. I mean, Tundra. So yeah, exactly. Like,
I'm
This
saying,
is why I'm trying to start a farm in the next couple of years. I'm trying to go so far off the grid that nobody can fucking find me.
that's where me and my
Like,
wife are going in the next 6 months. Yeah, with the
yes,
kids.
dude.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yes. And it's not because I'm quote unquote afraid of AI. I'm not afraid of anything. I'm not afraid of AI.
I'm
I
afraid of people.
recognize, well, I'm not even afraid of people. I just have negative zero faith in humanity. Like
Right.
that's not even a conversation, to be honest. But I'm also healthily skeptical of AI, as are the creators of AI. And
Mhm.
no, I can see what's happening. And you're right. I do think it's an inevitability, the same way I think the end of the earth is an inevitability. Doesn't mean that I should like welcome and bring it on. I should try to sustain my own life and family's well being for as long as humanly possible. That's my job as a father.
well,
But
I'm telling you right
recognize.
now,
Yeah.
if anything happens to your life, AI, like regarding AI, it will not be AI's fault. Just like it's not the fire's fault at the end of a Molotov cocktail whenever it gets thrown into somebody's house. You can't blame the fire. It is the
Wait, hold
person.
on.
I'm with you. I'm with you. Actually,
They
I
just
get
had
what
that
you're
kid
saying.
commit suicide in Florida because his AI told him to. And then the AI company tried saying, well, actually, you can't sue us as a company. The AI is its own sentient being. It has freedom of speech rights. And the state of Florida was like, no, fuck you. You're all going down. So, yes, you can
For
blame
now.
AI for that, Jonathan.
I mean, I can blame it on the retard kid that actually believed it. How about we
Yeah.
giving a little
Oh,
bit of like why are we? It's not
sure. I could blame the
fault.
parents for letting them have a son to be on the internet to that level. Yeah, parents shouldn't let their children be fucking with AI chatbots. Yeah, we could assign blame wherever we
Well,
want.
but I mean, like, dude, back to all the way back to the 80s, the few people that committed suicide and said that a Judas Priest song was the reason they committed suicide. Did Judas Priest write a song it actually was a cover song, which is the irony of it. It wasn't even their own fucking song that was used as the argument for why these two kids committed suicide. And you're like, but, well, it the actions of the kids that did it? Or was it the fucking song played on a guitar that did it? Like, you know what I mean? There has to become an accountability at some point to both of
Yes.
you guys' point to where the idea of like, if you're gonna just commit suicide because your AI fembot fucking chatbot girlfriend told you to commit suicide because I'm not gonna have virtual sex with you anymore. That's your own problem with between you and God at this point. Like,
Okay.
you're talking to a computer, you're not talking to a real person. Like, I mean, like,
So
you shouldn't be influenced by those kind of things. And if you are, then you're in kind of a lower vibrational state anyways, which gets into the question of like, why are you talking to a fucking AI girlfriend in the first place?
It's
So let me
incompetent.
ask you this. Let me ask
Right.
y'all both of you a question. And I feel like we might get all kinds of different answers on this. And honestly, I don't even know how I'm
I
going to
love
answer this
this.
question.
I've loved
So-
talking to you guys. This is awesome.
So no doubt, no doubt. So let me ask you this. Let's talk 15 years into the future, hypothetically, of course. And AI has taken over all engineering firms. They already have robots that can do welds, and they're going to have those AI driven here in the future,
Mhm.
right? Okay, cool. So let's say there's a job site somewhere that's being built. All the engineering and drawings were done by AI. The robots that did the welds on this one specific beam, that's a load bearing beam or whatever, was done by AI driven robots all the way through. This site had minimal human interaction whatsoever, because that's just the way of the future. In 15 years, 20 years, 30 years, that's just going to be what it's going to be. And okay, real shit. And one day, for whatever reason, the welds give and this building collapses and actually kills somebody who's working in this building. Who's at fault?
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to like trip anybody up. I'm genuinely asking, is it the AI that's at fault for designing the building wrong? Is it the AI robot's fault for not doing good welds? Is it the person's fault for working in a building that he shouldn't have been in the first place because blah, blah, blah? Is it the company who hired the AI bot to do this? Like, who is at fault whenever that kind of thing takes place? Just curious.
I think the owner, honestly, because at the end of the day,
Which owner?
the owner of the company that allowed the AI to take over the workforce. That is the
Yes.
problem, because I've worked in metal shops for 10 years. I've worked on cars. I've worked maintenance. I've always been a hands-on guy. I've got long hair and tattoos, but I play music, but I'm great with tools. I can fix shit. The thing is, I understand exactly what you're saying. When you get into the automation of things like that, where you get into Ford Motor Works or Chevy or whoever, or fucking DuPont or whoever, whatever big massive company, you're taking away the human instinct out of it. So I'm agreeing 1,000% with you, Jacob. Like, you're taking the human away from the job and you're leaving it up to
The computers,
data.
robots.
You're leaving it up to data instead of
But like
instinct.
Jonathan's saying, that's just the way the future's going to go.
I know,
Everything's
and that's
gonna
what
be
I'm
AI
saying. That's
driven.
where I'm
So
like, there's gonna be a war at some point, and we've been seeing this shit for Terminator 1, Terminator
Yes.
2. Like, it's almost like it's predicted. It's like the world is going crazy, and there's gonna be some that are gonna go with it, and then there's gonna be some that aren't. And those that go with it are gonna be the first ones at the very beginning of Terminator 2, when you see the skulls getting stomped on by the robot without the skin on it. And it's like, we don't have to wear the skin anymore because we won. So I get both sides of the argument. Yes, there's human
Jonathan?
touch. There's human touch. There's things like that are necessary. But there's also, yeah, that AI is getting out of control. Where's it going to go?
Jonathan, your thoughts. Same scenario. Who do you think holds fault for that death in this hypothetical situation?
Personally, I believe that the building wouldn't fall because the AI probably collected all of the data, all of
Oh
the
my
stats
God.
reports, all of the different hazards. It probably knows exactly which thread screw goes into what hole.
No.
Better.
For this example, this building does collapse and a person dies. That happens in this example. Who's at fault for the death?
Whose property is it on, though? You know what I mean? And who also
Lucky Larry Silverstein.
but not only just that, who is the one that allowed AI to build that tower or that building or whatever?
All the companies are using AI at that point. Every one of them is. So I mean, it's just what it is because that's the way of the future.
But you're acting like AI is going to go rogue and just start creating buildings for some reason. Like,
No, I'm saying like
it's still going to be in the direction of people.
No. Okay, hold on. I'm not saying that the AI built this building faulty on purpose to kill humans. That's not what I said. An AI engineered the drawings, and an AI robots and a collective of robots built the building, as a lot of construction projects will be happening in the next 30 years. Like, I'm with that. But for whatever reason, a freak accident, okay, even though the program was right, all these
A
things.
liability.
Something went wrong because Murphy's Law is still a thing. Regardless if it's robots or AI, something inevitably will go wrong eventually. And let's say it's minuscule. Let's say it's only one death. Let's not even say it's like a Twin Tower style thing where thousands of people die. Just a person happened to be there, janitor. Who is at fault for this death? The person who owns the land? Is it the engineering firm? Is it the construction company? Because they're all using AI.
Well, it's going to fall back on whoever is operating that AI. whoever contracted that AI out. Something. It's going to be the landowner, the contractor, the person that gave the AI the go ahead. People are always going to be at fault here, is what I'm trying to say.
That's the liability. Yeah.
Like, people are the ones that probably go over the blueprints of how it's going to be constructed. People are probably the ones that are going to be going in there and checking for, safety concerns or whatever, hazardous material, whatever, right? People are not going to be phased out. Like, that's the thing I think that eventually certain jobs will be getting phased out, but there's just going to be, people are going to find other ways. Like, it's the same thing.
That's why the Florida-based AI company was trying to put liability on the AI bot itself rather than on the company. And that's what I'm saying. There needs to be just one legal court case that takes place where the judge says, yes, the AI is liable, not the creator. And at that point, there's legal precedence and it all goes downhill. You don't think that at any point in the next 30 years that's going to take place?
Bro, it's like, if you take away one AI, another AI is just going to fill it in. There's not like one AI to rule them all. Like, fucking.
No. But in legal terms, there's legal precedence for this, right? If they are looking at AI as itself, they're not going to look at ChatGPT versus Grok versus this. They're going to have an AI law. It's going to be a blanket policy because that's how laws are passed.
Sure, yeah, but let's just say Grok built that building, and people want to put the blame on Grok. Well, guess who's going to get all the other contracts now? It's going to be ChatGPT. Like, so it's still going to be AI, is my
If
point.
it's not Raytheon, it's Halliburton. Exactly. Yeah.
That's all the same shit. Like, I'm 100% saying that it is inevitable, so there's no reason to worry about it. I think, there's cause for concern if you're unaware or a little bit ignorant to, not saying that you are, but if you're ignorant to what all AI is doing. AI is so much more than just you chatting and texting prompts.
No, I agree. But question, do you believe that the creators of AI are ignorant to what it can do? The ones that are building bunkers to hide from it?
I think that it's a race to be the best. It's a race to AGI. That's what they're all saying right now. China's trying to be the lead front man. The United States is trying to be it. Several other countries are in the running right now. It's all about who is going to be the king shit of AGI. Right. And that's really what people are worried about, because if China is it, well, then are they going to start to implement some traces of communism all the way throughout it, right? Mm-hmm. And so it's all the programmer. It's the programmer every time. It is never the program.
I think AI all leads back to communism, to be honest with you. It all leads to reliance on Big Daddy. At some point, it used to be Big Daddy government. Now it's going to be Big Daddy AI, and that's it.
Well, dude, what if, blow everybody's minds? Like, what if this idea of bringing AI into everything is this weird idea of bringing the simulation to life? Like, the idea that, like, what if there's no God? What if there is a God? What if there's the simulation, the creator, whatever? Like, the guy, the programmer. That's kind of weirdly where we're kind of going now. It seems like AI is going to be the next God, Messiah. I don't know where to end with this, but I'm just kind of saying, like, it seems like we're almost asking for it inadvertently, that we're like, well, there's somebody that created that Sims game that you downloaded in 1998, even though that it's like the same idea that God created the world and gave everybody free will. Well, I created this game and gave everybody free will within the game to some context. You're like, well, here we are. It's this weird, like, which came first, the chicken or the egg? The creator, the real world? Where does this AI shit go? Does it wake us up to realizing we're possibly in a simulation or we're in a created universe? Who knows? But
very possible.
Our curiosity is either going to be a good thing or a fucking bad thing pretty soon. That's all I'm thinking.
I think it's Inception already. Like, I think that it's talking about a dream within a dream. It's going to be a simulation within a simulation. Like, I think that there's no way that this place isn't some sort of simulation already. Like,
we're Truman Show, dude.
It's already Truman Show. I mean, you can have your beliefs, you can have your face, but if you really look at the fucking data, dude, there's no way to prove that it's not a simulation. Like, that's how you know. Like, if you can't prove that it's not a simulation, man, that's already like fucking strike number one. You
Not
know,
necessarily though. Look at flat versus round Earth. There's no way of quote unquote proving either or. That's how you know that it's either or.
but there is a way to prove it's if it's flat or round,
There
though.
is. It's called physics, but we're not having that conversation. My point is that's an argument. That's like a fallacy argument of saying like if you can't prove it, then you know it's true. It's like that's not how that works.
It turns
Well,
into this ideology kind of argument to where it's like, you put your shield up and, whether presented with facts or whatever, your facts are disputed against another person's facts. And then it's like, well, we get into what you believe versus what you believe. And then how do we come with an agreement between that? It's like the idea of like Truman Show, flat Earth, round Earth, reality, AI in 20 years from now. Are we going to be living in fucking Blade Runner? Are we going to live in, it's like our future is up for debate. Let's just say it kind of depends on if people start waking up or if they stay complacent, I guess.
Agreed.
I think that AI can be used for good, and I also
Sure.
think that it can be used for bad. I think that it's about who's in control of it, and
I
that's
could
what
agree
we
with
should be
that.
worried about.
AI
That
is like a calculator. Don't forget to learn how to write 2 plus 2 on a piece of paper and don't rely on a calculator to do 2 plus 2 for you. If you want some advanced shit with AI, you can do it. But some basic shit, don't be lazy motherfucker and expect AI to do it all for you because that's the downfall.
And that's what I'm afraid of is that humans, when given the opportunity to choose the lazy route, will always choose the lazy route.
100%.
And as of right now, yes, to your point, Jonathan, it can be used for good and it can be used for bad. I am 100% in agreement with you on this. But I also know how human beings are when left to our own devices and when given the opportunity of taking the easy way or the hard way. So you let that grow for another 15, 20 years.
50 years.
50. Fuck yeah.
Yeah,
How
dude.
many, to even further that point, how many human beings in America right now know how to actually hook up a yoke to a mule and plow a field? Not many. And the ones that do are probably over 60 years old. You know what I'm saying? There's some out there that still do it all over the world, but that's you could argue, a lost technology to our generation and our civilization, right? Because why would we have tractors to do it? And I'm not saying that we shouldn't use tractors. There's technological innovations that make so much work easier, which it leads to industrial agriculture, which that leads to shit work. That's not the talk for the day. My point is, there's all kinds of things like you're saying, like the 2 plus 2 equals 4. Writing that out on paper, calculators didn't replace that, right? But given the opportunity of doing like long division, I don't know when the last time one of you sat down with a piece of paper and a pencil and did basic long division was. You would think, oh, I can do that. I totally can. Bro, I remember I went back to college, first math class. It was a 101. We started with 2 plus 2 and we ended with very basic algebra. Addition, subtraction, multiplication. Bro, everybody in the class was fine. And the age ranges were from like 18 to like 36. Soon as long division came up, bro, you saw everyone in the class like, fuck. Because everybody has been using calculators for so long, we forgot how to do it in the span of a few years. Now let's go ahead and do that when it comes to anything worthwhile using AI for the next 50. Yeah, human beings are going to lose a whole lot of what makes us humans.
Well, I think that if you really think about it, I mean, a lot of AI is really just doing a lot of your left brain shit for you anyway. Like, so it's only the technical stuff. It's only the physical stuff. Like, if you really think about it, like if what we are truly like to our core is souls or spirits or energies or whatever, then who gives a fuck what happens in this physical reality anyway? Like, it's inevitable. Like, these things, there are going to be natural evolutions. People have been scared for the end. The end is nigh, and people have been scared about the future for a very long time. And the majority, all of those people, still exist if they didn't die of old age.
Bro, they're not just using AI for the left brain shit. How much art is being done using AI right now? We just talked about music that's being used with AI. That's not left brain things.
You're not having AI pray for you. You're not having AI meditate for you. You're not having AI go take a walk in nature for you. You're not having AI fucking babysit your kids for you.
Well, I think the biggest argument is not necessarily AI. I think it's people's fucking laziness. People's laziness is, it's the idle hands of the devil's plaything kind of shit. Like, your laziness is going to bring on your own downfall. At the end of the day, the Amish guy that wakes up at 4 in the morning and goes out and deals with his chickens and his fucking, his cows and everything else, whatever his routine is every morning, he's not saying, I'll get out there at 8 instead of 4:30 in the morning. He's
Right.
going out and he's doing it. I think AI is going to bring people's laziness, but that doesn't mean that there's not good things that AI can't do. But I'm just saying, in the majority, I think knowing how lazy people are as a general consensus, whatever country, whatever this, yes, there's hardworking people, but I'm just saying, majority of the modern people are pretty lazy. We don't understand the hardships of 50 years ago, 100 years ago, 150 years ago, 200 years ago. So my point is following that timeline, I think it's only gonna get to where it's like, 50 years ago you had kids and you had a farm and your kids were out there working on the farm. 50 years later we live now and your kids are playing on TikTok on their phones. And it's a pain in the ass to get them out of their bedrooms.
Oh, bro,
So
86% of human beings in America got a first jab.
right,
Like,
exactly. So we're just following the masses,
yes.
silent M following the asses. But yeah, like I mean, I think there's a shitload of things that actually could be good with AI. But I don't know if it's not that I distrust AI, it's that I almost distrust the humans on what they're allowing with AI
Right.
I mean, and look, there's always going to be freedom of choice, though. Like, we can sit here and complain about our kids being on TikTok, but you gave them a phone. We can sit here and
right,
talk about like how our kids are only wanting to sit in front of the TV all day. They don't want to go outside. You're the one that allowed them to have the privilege of being able to sit inside with AC and TV and all of
right.
the modern comforts and everything. And if you really think about it, I mean, yeah, you can probably chalk a little bit up of it up to being lazy. I think it's just convenience.
Interchangeable dialogue.
Whenever you load your dishwasher, do you say I'm lazy or are you saying I want this shit to get done faster because I don't fucking want to do it? Like there are certain conveniences that
You
I think
great
that
point.
AI
Yeah.
will allow.
That's fair. That's fair. But again, when we're looking at humanity, and like you said earlier, AI is always going to have a human component. Well, we just showed that the human en masse is a really bad idea to like have at the forefront of a lot of things. So either AI is going to be self-governing, which that's going to go horribly wrong, or B,
Mhm.
humans are going to be governing AI, which is also going to go horribly wrong.
And then we get an
Either way it goes, it's a
idiocracy.
negative. Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely idiocracy. And for the record, speaking of, President Dwayne Alonzo Mountain Dew Herbert Camacho approves
Hell
of
yeah.
AI. Let that one sink in.
Brondo is what the plants crave, man.
It's got electrolytes, man.
Hey, I approve of AI. I think that it's going to. I think that look, if you're scared of it, if you're worried about it, if you think it's going to take over reality, there's
Man,
all some backwoods place that you can go fucking build a cabin next to a spring or next to a creek or something like that. Go back to the fucking native ways of what it means to be a human. Nobody's taking that away from you.
Fucking
But,
right, I am.
but I
pull a
think
Ted Kaczynski without the bombs. Exactly. Go
Yeah.
find nature, go build your little shack. Yes, exactly. Like Jonathan, you're 1,000% correct. Because like, don't let it take over your life. But it's inevitable. It's gonna happen that it's gonna be this new thing coming in, and it's just like whether you loved Elvis in the 50s and the Beatles came in the 60s. You just have to suck it up and deal with it. And then whoever came in the 70s, whoever came in the 80s, like you can be the old boomer or the old man, grandpa, Simpson screaming at the sky and yelling at the clouds, or you
Yeah.
can just kind of somewhat recognize what it is, but allow it to happen, not in a complacency way, but like, well, what am I going to do to stop it? But at the same time, the idea of like, well, you're not going to be able to stop it, but you can at least try to wake people up to like the dangers of certain things.
Yeah.
I mean, as I'm trying to put a close on this, I don't know.
And there's just modern conveniences. If you really think about it, if you think that it's just the lazy way, I'm sure that there's a million different ways that you can look at, people using AI as the lazy way. But like, think about your modern day conveniences. You don't have to go to Blockbuster anymore. You don't have to rewind your fucking VHS tapes anymore because you just turn on your TV and you log into Netflix. Like, that's a modern day convenience. Whenever you sit down on your couch, do you think, God damn, I'm lazy. I didn't even drive to Blockbuster. I didn't even have to rewind anything. I didn't have to return anything. I don't have to pay any late fees or anything like that. Or do you say, man, what an awesome convenience Netflix is that I can just literally stay in my house all day long and never run out of movies, never run out of TV shows. And so I think we're missing like, I think that anytime anything is new that's getting ready to come out, people are always worried about worst case scenario. And I think that's logical. You
This
got
is a conspiracy show. That's the whole.
yeah, but I mean, I think that the conspiracy in and of itself is that, most conspiracies are driven to make fucking people crazy. Like, people love fear.
100% right.
It's
yeah.
a fucking addiction. And I know plenty of people that have listened to conspiracy channels for a little while and they're like, dude, I got to fucking take a break. I got to step away for a minute because I know all this shit's going on, but it doesn't have to go on to me in my mind. Like,
it gets too heavy. Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying is that too many people are way too fucking doom and gloom all the time. And it's not like that. Like, there are some things that you should absolutely be tripping about. But for the most part, like, fucking open your blinds, bro. It's blue skies with a couple of chemtrails, like, it's like,
oh, they were back today. The government shutdown bullshit. Everybody said there's no chemtrails since the government shutdown. I'm like, well, in Oklahoma, there I saw about 25 fucking lines in the sky today. So maybe the government's opening back up. I don't know.
But you're not talking about the listeners of this show, Jonathan, just so we're clear.
No, but the listeners.
Okay, making sure. You're talking about people need to stop listening to conspiracy shows. I'm like, this is our job, right?
No,
You're right.
I'm not even saying that people need to stop listening to it, but I think that there's conspiracy theorists out there that absolutely take advantage of their listeners' fear and they try and make it as fearful as humanly possible. And that's not what we like to do either.
No, we try to share information. That's all. And
we've all said that this is not to scare you. This is to inform you. Those are two different things.
No doubt. But I mean, at the same time, and this is not to fear monger at any point, but freedom is usually handed over willingly in the name of convenience and safety.
100%.
And I am of the belief that we don't need to live in safe slavery. I would rather dangerous freedom.
We're already living in safe slavery. What are you talking about?
I would like to maintain whatever level of dangerous freedom we still have left. And that means not relying on the system. And that does include the government. If you're relying on the government, then like you need to unfuck yourself. I don't know how else I could word that. You need to take responsibility for your own life. And if you're relying on AI to be your answer for things that you could find on your own or designing something that you could design on your own or whatever the case, using it as a tool is one thing. Using it as a source, that's a problem.
I'm less worried about people relying on the government than I am the government relying on people. Like, I think that is the main thing. So everybody out there, like, dude, what if we just like all as a collective unit all stop paying taxes?
Oh, sure, that would be great, but we can't even agree if there's two genders or not.
No, I agree. And that's what I'm saying is that, if we were able to get on the same page and stop falling for the fucking false divisions of the world and look at the entire political system and the entire governmental system that is notably, like, factually fucked over millions of people all throughout its own history. I mean, just in the name of research or just in the name of science. Like, I don't know, dude. I just think that, it would be nice if, we all looked at it for what it was and said, man, the system has been fucking us for far too long. And just the simple fact of like, you can own a house and still have it taken away from you if you don't pay the fucking state taxes. You own that land. You own that house. Why are you still paying taxes on it? And as a matter of fact, Florida, shout out to DeSantis. I mean, I'm not 100% on his team or 100% on board, but he's been pushing like that same kind of adage. Is like, dude, you shouldn't be paying fucking taxes on something that you own. Like, that's ridiculous. And I think that if enough people stood up to that, I mean, look, the fucking the all of the amendments are there for a reason. Like, the Second Amendment is there not so that you can go and shoot fucking animals to survive. It's to, kind of rise up against the government that has been bending you over and fucking you a lot like they have been.
Well,
You
in
know,
a big
Agreed.
full circle of everything we've kind of talked about tonight, like, um, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to get off here in a couple minutes, but I
Yeah.
just want to say this is like everything that we've kind of talked about really kind of does come full circle because, like, you're talking about DeSantis, taxes. You're talking about, like he's talking about getting rid of what is it, property tax, right? I believe.
yep.
Or yeah, okay. So the idea that you buy this thing in the country you live in, meanwhile you paid off the money for it, but they're still gonna tax you on this. And then when you die, they're going to tax your children who inherit that. And then, by the way, they're going to tax your children on the way to that meeting on the gas that they're putting in their truck. And then, by the way, the gas that they're putting in their truck is being taxed by the paycheck that they're getting fucking taxed on. And it's like, okay, where does it end? Like, to the
Right.
idea of this, like, black pill idea of like tax, 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 even after death, you're paying. Well, my whole point is like Americans are actually starting to wake up in ways, but they're also feeling like they have their hands tied because it's this idea that like they wake up, but they're like, what the hell can I do? Well, all you can
Right.
really kind of do is wake up more friends of yours and hope the idea gets rolling. But where we go with this, and like I said, not to go full black pill, but it's like our taxes are taxed and taxed and taxed and taxed on like we're taxed when we die, inheritance tax, we're taxed on this. Like, where does it all go? And that's from human beings.
Yeah.
Wait till it turns back to the AI shit. Wait till it turns into Terminator 2 and they're stomping on our skulls like the very beginning of the movie. It's like they don't have to wear the exoskeleton anymore. It's just the robot walking around stomping skulls in the desolate wasteland. Like, you know, where does it go? I don't know. Either
No,
way,
no, I
just
agree with you.
start being informed. Yeah, I guess pay your fucking taxes, save your money, buy some
Yeah.
land. I don't know. I mean, build a homestead, homeschool your kids. It's all these little things. Even if you can't homeschool your kids, go to PTA meetings, go to these things. Like, it all starts with the little baby steps. Baby steps turn into giant steps. And so we can get as black pill as we want, but at the end of the day, it kind of really does, the buck stops with us. Like, if we really
Yeah.
want to at least make an influence in our own family's culture, it's up to us to step forward and start doing it, instead of, I mean, I've loved this, but we've been kind of bitching about it for 3 hours. But the idea, but you get what I'm saying? It's like we can bitch about the problems with it, but until we all start taking the first step ourselves within our own family, we're not really going to make much of a change.
I agree
Yes.
with that. And I've thought about this too, Jonathan, the example you gave, because we've talked about that for years. Even before I got on this podcast, we'd have guys at work just talking in the smoke pen about, like, how we get the government to actually start listening to us, get the entire country to file tax exempt for 30 days in one
Mm.
unified movement. And they couldn't ignore that. I thought about it more here recently. I was like, that actually is a solid idea, right? Except, just like our boy Derek just said, they would just start hiking up taxes on everything we buy. Even if we were to all file exempt for a year, the government's still going to get what's theirs, no matter what.
They're the
And it's
printer
like,
of the money. Yeah.
and that's how it goes. They all of a sudden, taxes on everything, instead of being like 13% to buy whatever you're buying, it would now jump to 33%. And that's just the way it would go. Uncle Sam is always going to get what's theirs regardless. And it's like, even if we were to unify, even if we as an American people, regardless of gender and income and political ideations or religious ideologies, regardless, if we were all to get on the same page to let our voice be heard to the government, they already have systems in place to, like, just screw that over anyway. So, but you're right, Derek, and that's not to black pill anybody either, because we have to start taking those steps, right? You need to get involved in your community. You need to get involved more heavily in your family's upbringing, and not just waking up people around you to the conspiratorial things, but also being well informed and showing people the chicanery that is going on from the people at the top, so that we can better prepare for it on our end.
I was really actually kind of going in another direction with that. Like, instead of just not paying taxes, what if we all just like lived off grid? Don't worry about consuming the gas. Don't worry about
I
consuming
love
the
it.
electricity. Don't worry about like feeding into the fucking internet algorithms because we just won't use it, And it's like and it doesn't have to be an everybody thing. It can be a you and your family thing.
Yeah.
I've seen, like I watch a lot of people who go and live off grid. It looks like the most fucking peaceful thing I've ever seen.
But it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. Yeah, you're gardening, you're milking your cows and you're collecting the eggs from the chicken and everything. But like, wouldn't you rather provide and give something to that system, a system that you created and a system that like is your plot of land, than giving money to a system that doesn't give two flying fucks about you? Like,
Absolutely.
there is a
Yeah.
way to do it. There's you can have fucking refrigeration if you dig deep enough, and the ground will keep your shit cold enough. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, you get there's fire starters and all this other shit. There's ways to survive without the system. And that's what I would love to do, dude. I would love to get to a point where I'm just living in a cabin in the woods. If it's the summer, all right, well, I guess I'm gonna fucking feel a little sweaty tonight. If it's
Right.
the winter, all right, yeah, wear 3 pair of socks and bundle up with multiple blankets. Like, there's a way of completely unplugging with the system. Like, and I think
Absolutely.
that instead of worrying about if everybody else is going to do it, you're exactly right. It starts with us.
Yep. This is why I'm going the homestead route, dude.
That's
Honestly,
exactly
and
what me and
honestly-
my wife and the kids are doing in the next couple of years. We've already been looking at buying land, about 10 to 15 acres, me
Yep.
homeschooling the kids, all kinds of shit. Like, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You don't even
And I-
need money anymore. You just start trading with other people that are doing it.
Barter
Dude, have you
system,
talked
yep.
to the
Barter and
small
trade.
farmers? The small farmers trade with other small farmers. You got
Yeah.
one dude that like beef is his jam. You got this other person where their vegetable garden is their jam. They swap. They barter.
And then another guy's got
everybody
whole milk,
thrives.
and then other guy's got some 12 gauge shells. You're like, yeah.
Absolutely. And
Barter
I mean,
system.
honestly, you don't have to be anti-electricity either. There is solar panels. There is, if you have a decent water source, you could put your own dam and turbine in there. But the thing is, it's a lot of work, and more people are more. They will go the route of convenience rather than the route of work when push comes to shove. And I agree with you. It does start with us. We have to be the ones to take that initiative and take our own destiny into our own hands. 100%
But
agree.
until you unplug from the system, I mean, I don't even know if we have a right to bitch about AI. Like, you're in the system. That is the system. It will be the system. You understand what I'm trying to say? It's like,
You have a right to bitch about it.
no, you have a right to bitch, but I mean, it's just like, it's the same people that have a right to complain, even though they never voted. It's like, it's the same.
No, they have no right to vote. They have no right to complain if they didn't vote.
I mean, are they going to jail for complaining? I would
No,
say
but they
right.
also, if they're not even going to take the first step to try to let their voice be heard, then they can't bitch about the results after the fact.
Well, yeah, either way. Anyway, look, Derek, this was a fun conversation. It made me think about a lot, really. And to be honest, I feel a lot better about AI now that we've had this conversation.
I love it.
You need to get you a bunker, dude.
I'd still want one just for the fun of it. But either way, Derek, let the good cult members of the world know where they can find you, sir.
Yeah, dude. You guys can find me basically Talking Stitt, Rumble, Spotify, YouTube. YouTube's been cool lately, so I've been trying to re-upload there recently. And then also you can find me on social medias under Derek Stitt, DerekStitt. Your main ones, fucking Facebook, Instagram, X, whatever. But yeah, dude, I just like to drink some beer, talk shit. The world's going crazy, and it's like mix a little bit of comedy, conspiracies, the real world. It's falling apart. We might as well laugh a little bit while this Titanic's sinking, while we're having some fun. Grab that bottle of champagne and have some fun. At the end of you're going down with it. So
Somebody grab the violin,
exactly. Yeah, play it with your ass, whatever you want to do. But but no, thank you guys for your time, Jonathon, Jacob. You guys, this has been fucking awesome, and it exceeded expectations, man. Like, we went longer than I planned on, and I actually love that because obviously I didn't run you guys off. So thank you guys and your fans for tuning in to my ramblings. And yeah, dude, Spotify, Talking Stitt, you can find me there.
Awesome,
yeah.
man. Look, we're going to have your links down in the show notes below if anybody wants that hyperlink to go and find Talking Stitt. Highly recommend it. Awesome dude. Love the conversation. And Yeah, hope to do it again here soon. But look, before anybody, Derek, you don't have to stick around for this if you need to go. But before everybody else goes, we do want to say, go and check out Good Feels Cannabis Seltzer, dude. It is delicious. It's delightful. There's no carbs. There's no calories. I mean, you're not going to wake up with a hangover. They got a bevy of different flavors and all the fun stuff. And if you click that link down below, you're going to get 20% off of your entire order, whether you get 3, 6, 12, 24, 48, fucking 196, whatever you get, you're going to get 20% off of it. Go and check it out. It's a great way to be able to support the show.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
And as we were talking about unplugging from the system, if you would like to unplug from the medical system, the big pharma and the crazy prices on medications and treatment options, and you would like to experience a real healing technology at your home, what you could do is go to link in the description to Real Rife Technologies and get yourself a Rife machine right now, delivered to your door. Use the promo code CULT at checkout for 10% off your order and free shipping to your door. Also, talking about unplugging from the system would be unplugging from the financial system. If you would like to get your start in the buying and selling and trading of gold and silver bullion, then the best place to get your start would be to go to the link in the description, cocsilver.com. Listen, talk to your financial advisor, talk to your CPA, your accountant, whoever, and ask them what they think about investing in precious metals. I promise you they're going to tell you that at least a portion of your retirement portfolio needs to be invested in precious metals. Right now is the time to buy. It's still affordable. Go to the link in the description to get your start today. Once again, cocsilver.com. But we want to hear from you, good cult members. What do you think about this conversation? Do you think that we are crazy? Do you think that we're on one? What's your take on AI? What's your take on all the geopolitical things we talked about this evening? We want to hear from you, and the best place to do so would be to please hit the 5 stars, hit the shares, the like, subscribe, the comments, leave a post, leave a review, and share us with your friends and family. Share us everywhere. Here's the deal. The more activity the algorithm sees across all of our listening platforms, the more we get promoted to more potential listeners who could then become potential cult members like the rest of you fine, ladies and gentlemen. While you're ready, go check out Metamystics, Jonathan's other show, and give them the same level of respect over there with the 5-star reviews and the positivity in the comments. Come check out the Cajun Night, and come join each of us for our individual Patrons we host every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Central. Links to those are in the description as well, and we thank you for everybody who's already gone and done so.
And with that being said, this was another beautiful episode of the Cult of Conspiracy. And my name's Jonathan.
I'm Jacob.
And I'm Derek.
And there's one very important, extremely vital piece of information we need you to learn just as soon as humanly possible. Open up that third eye. Fucking dogs every time. They know that I'm about to be.
Dude. Hey, you.
Man, thank you
how
guys.
often do you